And chat. How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Excuse me for a second while I ban that bot account. Okay. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Today, we're taking a break from MSQ, I believe, and we're doing Hildibrand. But let me bring Minda on, because Dai's going to be a little late because of lunch. Beep boop.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
Very good.
So, I believe today, Dai says that chat was correct and there was one more quest before the end of 4.3, so we should probably open with that. And then I believe the things we have on the schedule are Hildibrand and the Heavensward Relic quest dungeon grind.
Yep. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back.
Thank y'all.
So, which do you think we should do first?
Let's do the last quest, because I'm already in Mordona and don't want to move. And then I think Dungeon Grind and Hildibrand, because we're going to be doing, because that way we can just roll straight through Hildibrand this week and next week.
Sounds good. But first, let me do my daily chores, and then we'll go to the Enclave for the Domain Restoration.
Yes, that'll be another thing to do.
By the way, once we're all in the same place, I want us to line up so I can get our various heights for art reference.
Mm-hmm. I am small.
Yes. Which is a problem for,
Yeah, you just gotta cheat.
No, like, I've got an artist working on a piece of us, and she drew you very tall? Not knowing that Vieira are, like, 2 feet taller than you?
Yeah, I'm minimum height Vieira, and I'm still towering over Minda.
Yeah, well here, just make this even funnier. I can stand on a platform, and it still only kind of helps.
Nah, we should get the actual relative heights. We're probably going to have you be taller than you normally are in relation to us because of balance, but actually, if Dai's that short, then
It'll make like a podium shape.
Yeah. It'll probably be fine, yeah.
Yeah, bouquet of flowers. I don't care, Masked Rose. Just give me my 10K. Alright, to the Enclave.
I'm to Mordona first.
Go to where?
Mordona. Everyone else is here.
Fair enough. Really ought to do the actual fashion for 60K? Yeah, but that's a lot of effort for something I don't actually need anymore. I don't know
that... Really, it's like, you, 90% of the time, everything you need for Fashion Report, you can just, buy in Ul'dah. You, buy 2 pieces of gear from a vendor, and a dye of and 1 can of paint. And then there you go.
Fair enough. Alright, Minda. Line up to my left.
If we had our weapons...
Brennan and I should be the other way around, because I'm the right fist.
No. This is the arrangement it's going to be in the piece of art.
I know, I'm just... I'm just being OCD about the titles.
Thank you for getting directly in the way, random Vieira.
Oh, that seems to be mine.
Lauren, her manlets. Alright. Let me take a quick screenshot.
I'll G-pose. I can get better lighting and positioning that way.
Yeah, fair enough. Usually you can get everything pre-Stormblood, but sometimes there's Shadowbringer's clothes. I suppose there's other stuff I can spend my MGP on, but I've got all the mounts. Unless more open up later.
I thought you didn't have the throne yet.
I got the throne, like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, there are still cards and orchestrion rolls. And...
Oh yeah, the cards.
How is this? Yeah, there's also like some spectacles. There's minions. Umbrella.
True. That is perfect for relative
awesome.
heights.
Also, glasses. Now, glasses are another thing to spend MGP on.
Yeah, I mentioned spectacles.
All right. So the Rising Stones.
I'm just pasting that in the artist's Discord.
Change my G-pose back.
Okay. I need to buy triple triad cards for the most important mount of all. Ha!
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so in the Rising Stones.
Mm-hmm. I was working on that mount, and I hit a wall where now I have to do Shadowbringer's Fates in order to get permission to purchase a couple of the cards, and I was just like, no. Because, like, literally I have to do something like 280 Stormblood Fates.
You're shitting me.
I'm not.
Why?
I'm like, because like, I mean, like, you're going to encounter this system soon enough, but, like, starting in Stormblood, every zone has, like, a fate meter. And once you max out the fate meter, that, like, and as you unlock the fate meter, you unlock more and more stuff that you can buy from the fate vendor.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of triple triad cards that are hidden behind that, including one that's hidden behind all 6 Shadowbringer zones. And so in order to purchase that card, you need to complete all, and it's 60 fates per zone.
Oof.
60 fates per zone times 6 zones. That's about 300 fates.
That's 360, in fact.
Yes, and I've already done, like, some Shadowbringer's Fates just over the course of naturally playing, but I still need to do another 280 of the fucking things to finish unlocking them.
I've done all of them in Shadowbringers and Endwalker. I still need to do Dawn Trail, and also I need to do thousands of fates because the currency you get from fates can be used to get 2 mounts.
Oh
and
boy!
For 100 of the gemstones that you get from the fates, which can range from anywhere between like 12 to 30 something, you can buy a voucher. For 500 vouchers, you can get a mount.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I need to do it twice.
Yikes!
A third time if I want the wings.
Yeah, and I got very unmotivated to do that in Dawn Trail due to me not liking one of the zones so much. I just don't want to be in that zone, let alone fate grind there. So I'm going to not do that.
You can buy them off the market board, but that means guild farming. How much do they cost?
Roughly, like, people tend to put them up for like 300 million.
Yikes! Well, that's a couple weeks of fishing for you, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I had that much.
Alright, anyway.
Emissary of the Dawn. Ponder emote. That's a fun icon. It's been an eventful few days, hasn't it? But I suppose all we can do now is wait for word from Alphino. I don't recall the last time I had nothing pressing to be getting on with. We should probably make the most of it. Shall I put on some tea? Tea would be lovely. You may regale me with the tale of your adventures in the Far East, and of your encounter with this new primal especially. I'll put the kettle on then. That table looks free if you'd like to take a seat. Take care of the tea. You can claim us a table. It's pronounced Tsukuyomi, correct? A figure from Far Eastern mythology, no doubt.
Which is funny because so you pronounced it.
Several cutscenes will play in sequence. Oh boy. Last time I had several cutscenes at a table, it didn't go so well. Alright, let's begin. Interesting. So this Tsukuyomi was summoned in much the same manner as Susanoo, via the medium of a sacred relic. That's right. They believe their gods, or kami, reside in physical objects. Given the danger they represent, it may behoove us to begin a catalogue of such relics. But if we are to contain the threat, we will require a better understanding of the summoning method itself. I believe I shall pay a visit to Doma and learn what I can on the subject. A fine idea, and I know for a fact that our friends in Doma would be grateful for any information which could help to prevent further summoning in the region. I will pen you a letter of introduction. Lord Hien will wish to welcome our resident expert on etherology. Greetings. Could it be that I'm in time for tea? We did leave a seat open. It certainly looks that way. Come on, sit down and tell us how your investigations went. After you left, I went about questioning Bloodhouse gravekeepers. They all told much the same story. Once Lise and her officers had confirmed Xenos dead, his corpse was interred under strict supervision. There seems little reason to doubt their testimony on that point, but when I mentioned the defacement of Xenos' grave, accounts grew rather more vague. None reported having seen any suspicious persons in the vicinity, and all assumed the act to have been perpetrated by a vengeful Alamegan. Crucially, however, I was able to confirm that when the offending scrawl was removed, as per Lisa's instruction, no one involved thought to check the contents of the coffin. By that stage, 'tis like that the corpse was already missing. Assuming Xenos has not, in fact, risen from the dead, well, that's a big assumption, we are left with two possibilities. Either the body was disposed of to lend credence to the claims of an extremely committed impostor, or an Ascian has taken up residence within it. If Asahi was as fervent a devotee as you believe, he would not have been fooled by an impersonation, however committed. We must assume that we are dealing with an Ascian, and proceed accordingly. Agreed. The question is, how many more such monsters are waiting for Alphino and Garlemald? Their presence was his chief reason for going. He understood the risks. We only hope he did not underestimate the extent of the infestation. Oh, time to check in on Alphino. Meanwhile, on the Imperial Hypersonic Assault Craft 5025. Oh god, how would Xenos react to Hildibrand? How would the Ascians react to Hildibrand?
Hildibrand gets horribly mutilated but takes no damage, and Xenos is like, finally, a worthy adversary!
Master Alphino, we are making good speed towards our destination. Is aught amiss? Nay, 'tis just... I can see naught from my cabin, and was curious to know the land over which we flew. I am afraid our military craft are built with little thought for such niceties. I am happy to indulge your curiosity, however. We are presently passing over the burn on the western edge of Othard. Even with the benefit of a porthole, your gaze would have been greeted with naught but malms upon malms of lifeless earth. I have read something of the burn. It was described as a desolate wasteland, bled dry of every last drop of ether. Ooh, what did that, I wonder? Aye, it is believed that a succession of icon summonings was responsible. Well, yes, I assume so. I was wondering which one. When Emperor Solus first came to Othard and beheld this blight, he is said to have reeled at the scale of the devastation. He declared icons a threat to our very star's existence and issued an empire-wide decree ordering the eradication of all such entities. Oh boy, I knew something was going to interrupt us. Report! We're under attack, sir. Magitech armor, no visible designation. Magitech? But who? All cannons, return fire. Damage report. The main reactor's been hit. Helm unresponsive. We're going down, sir. Well, this is a fine pickle for Alphino. Damn it. They knew exactly where to hit us. All hands, brace for impact. Glad to have you back, Master Alphino. We have landed in one piece, more or less. But the air filtration system is damaged, and the ship is filling with smoke. We must gather the survivors and get out while we can. Aye. Aye. Well, he's in an uninhabited, desolate wasteland for... Duty calls! Commits battle for Emissary of the... Am I playing as Alphino?
Oh no, I got booted. We're in a party.
Oh no! Do I have to watch all that again? Well, I have to skip.
The cutscene. Skip a second cutscene. Okay.
Make sure you untime out both Sanctiferum and Tilmules.
Yep, we'll do it now. It's annoying that you can't just do 1 second timeouts anymore. I don't know why they removed that feature.
Yeah, that's weird. Commence battle for Emissary of the Dawn. Oh shit! Okay, what have I got? Trishackle, Starstorm, Ruin 3, and Physic. And ley lines! Master Alphino, might I ask you to search for survivors? I will see to our injured helmsman. What is that? Sort Pet Hotbar. Oh boy. Playable Alphino. This is weird. This is weird! Oh, it's a salt desert. Interesting. I don't see any injured people aside from those two. Destroy the airship wreckage. Read the role-playing status to lore?
Oh yeah, experiencing what it is to be someone else.
Oh shit. Physic to heal the wounded soldier.
And Alphino's carbuncle actually attacks things.
My thanks. I don't think I would have made it. I did see the message that there will be more playable NPCs. I would prefer people not tell me about future events, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, not physics. What is Tri-Shackle?
AoE.
Ah, cool.
You basically have 4 buttons: single target, multi-target, heal, and limit break.
It's a very weak AoE. It will take 5 enemies in order to do more than just doing single target would do.
Gotcha.
Wait a second. No, 7 enemies.
Jeez, really? Why do I have it then?
It's got a bind effect. It stops enemies moving.
Ah, I gotcha.
One pet peeve with the summoner rework that happened in Endwalker is that now the carbuncle doesn't actually do anything. Like, I'm a summoner, and my summons literally do nothing. They just stand there and I chant magic through them, I guess. Is
Yeah,
like
they work as like a as a vector for your magic.
Cutscene. Alright, so do we have enough food to survive this desert? Oh, there's more coming. Uh-oh. Well, balls. How is Alphino going to get out of this one? Confound it. Not here. Not like this. Oh, hello. Finally, a helpful machinist. What? Who in the Emperor's name? That's a Garlean. Enemies are our enemies. Introductions can wait. You are calm in a crisis, Master Alphino. Let us finish this then.
Yeah, Alphino's used to crises, including causing them.
Huh. Have we ever seen a black Garlean before? Stop selecting my ally. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'll zoom out.
Yeah, I would love it if, as a summoner, my carbuncle would just do auto attacks, something to feel like I'm actually a Pokemon trainer and not.
By the way, Law, stand in the carbuncle and blow, it makes you stronger.
Oh, shit. Decent amount stronger, like 20%.
Menacing mercenary, story mage. Storied Lancer as well.
By the Emperor, that man is a fiend! Cross formation, deploy restraint! Oh shit! Hostile stranger is just standing there doing nothing. Okay.
Yeah, I just used my limit break.
Oh, okay. This should hit all of them, maybe? Nope, only 2 of them. Oh no, it did get all of them. Okay.
Watching Mysterious Mercenaries held a lot of things. Interesting.
Duty complete. Cool. My thanks. Your intervention proved most timely.
Di and I are
So
both
small.
watching, but Di and I are both watching chat. Very and like
I'll
everybody
keep my eyes
chill.
off chat for a bit.
Everybody chill. Everybody chill.
Well, well. I did not think to meet an Eorzean in this place, let alone a Scion. You know who he is. Okay. You know of me, sir. I have some small history with your order. But I would speak of the present. Know you your assailants and the severity of your predicament? The soldiers bore the insignia of the Emperor's personal guard. Am I supposed to know who this is? It's Gaius! No. And I could venture a guess as to their motive. But you yet have us at a disadvantage, sir. Will you not tell us who you are? Our names are not yours for the asking. And as for our purpose, let this be our answer. Or your answer. An Ascian mask! The face of our prey. So you managed to kill one. Interesting. That sword does actually kind of look like Gaius' sword. We must away before more arrive. Come with us or stay, but make your choice now. Even should we manage the long trek out of the burn and secure passage to the capital, we would no doubt be greeted by the Emperor's guard. Indeed, we accept your gracious offer, Shadow Hunter will suffice for the present. Prelude to Shadowbringers.
Mm-hmm.
Come. No, that's too long to be Gaius' sword. Oh, that's a lot of Ascian masks. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, okay.
Whether or not they've actually managed to permanently kill the red ones is a question for that.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. This is intolerable. But as much as I wish it were otherwise, there is nothing we can do for Alphino now but pray for his success. Well, it's too late for that!
Yeah. This was another moment I remember playing through for the first time where it's similar to the Ehrenwald thing a couple patches ago, where I was just like, oh, we're about to watch... Oh, Alphino's in trouble, we're not there. He's about to die. I mean, like, he's in trouble, we're not there. He's gonna die. And then, no, he becomes a playable character. It's like, oh, okay, well, this will be fine then.
I still wasn't sure he'd survive after I started playing as him. That would have been an interesting finale to the character. But like I wasn't sure he was going to survive this cutscene sequence. But interesting. Well, that is not entirely true. While your brother journeys to Garlemald from the east, I could make my way there from Alamigo and find out what there is to be learned in the Empire's western provinces. Then I'm coming with you. I can't very well sit here sipping tea if there's action to be taken. Forgive me, Alice, but the provinces are hostile territory, and stealth is all important. It is safer that I go alone. I can sneak well enough when the situation demands it. Don't patronize me.
Yes, but then the moment you get angry, you start trying to blow buildings up.
I'll go with him, says the woman who blows things up as her first option. I wonder if he'll call me out on that if I say I'll go with him. You know what? I'm going to say it. I'll go with him. And how exactly would that be any better?
Yeah, the character you are playing as Lore and Alice are kind of two of alike.
Yeah. I must refuse your company as well, my friend. Formidable though you are, the success of my mission depends on moving unnoticed. Unless you forget, you have grown rather famous. I trust you understand.
Yeah, I am literally a ninja. Not only am I a ninja, I'm literally playing as a ninja right now. So, like, I would be fairly... I would actually be useful to Thancred in this situation, but the plot demands that I say no.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that, but I'm not sure just how well you'd be at hiding in the northern wastes of Ilzabad while dressed in bright crimson.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Well...
Fine. Just promise you'll be careful.
More stylish than bright orange, at least.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's a 20-year-old Naruto joke. Thank you very much. I'll be here all night.
The kids know what Naruto is.
I know. I am just saying, like, literally, the joke, it's like, he's a ninja who wears orange, is literally, like, is literally a joke that was old 20 years ago.
God, I was a teenager when Naruto came out. I think Naruto came out in 1998.
That was when, like, the, like, proto, like, that was when, like, kind of the pilot comic came out. I think it actually started serialization in, like, late 99, early 2000.
Wait, how would you be a teenager when Naruto came out if it came out in 98?
That's a fair point. I would have been 10.
Mm-hmm. I would have been 8.
Yeah, it's like, it didn't start, like, being big in America until, like, 05.
Oh, that's why I thought I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Well, I had best put on my skulking boots. There will be no room for mistakes once I've crossed the border from Alamigo. If this were D&D, those would be an actual magic item.
Mm-hmm.
Alice and her brother bicker as all siblings do, but she worries for him nonetheless. 'Twould be a kindness if you were to visit from time to time and distract her from her cares. It seems that praying is to be the extent of my contribution after all. But I will stay behind, as I have been bid. We all have our talents. Mine just happened to involve a silver tongue and soft soles. I promise to send word the moment I learn aught of consequence. See that you notify me, too. I mean to depart for Doma as soon as I find a suitable East Aldenard vessel to bear me thither, but I shall return if I am needed. Be sure to drop in whenever you're next in the area, Lore. With any luck, I'll have a painfully detailed report from Alphino to share. No, you won't. Emissary of the Dawn. You've learned the emote Ponder. Alright, so that's MSQ for today. What are we doing? Are we doing Hildibrand or the dungeons?
Doma Enclave did dungeons.
Right, Doma Enclave.
I don't know if I have enough to finish funding
It's also a little easier to sneak around Garlemald as a Hure than a Vieira. That's also fair.
Yeah, I have a ton of silver pieces from running my retainers every week.
Okay. In total, 20,000.
Bronze pieces. Right.
Let's see. Nope. I want to do... split that.
Oh, disgusting.
Okay, let's see. Rate 150%. Nice. So 15,000. So 5,000 divided by 750. 6. So 7.
I did get some demi material from Eureka last time we were there, at least.
Oh, nice. Oh, right. This is the thing you wanted me to save those for, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, okay. On behalf of the Shazenkai lore, I thank you for your support. Work on the yard has begun in earnest, as you may have noticed. It will encompass a rather large section of the Enclave, including the area directly behind me. You see, after deliberation, the Shazenkai concluded that we would need to secure much more space for this plan to succeed, far in excess of what we designated for the 10,000 stalls. This might not have been the case had we not decided to carry out two proposals that are arguably at cross purposes. But so be it. At the very least, I am told Master Suranuki is in high spirits. Perhaps you might consider calling on him and seeing the workers' progress. Alright, to the northwest, I believe? No, southwest.
She said directly behind her, and she wasn't kidding.
Oh, okay.
See, this is the problem with modern games. You've become so reliant on the minimap, you just don't read anymore.
Are you trying to tell me that Law uses the minimap?
Like that is like genuinely like a problem with modern game design. Is that like, you know, back in the day you had to like design quests to be completable in a internally like consistent manner. Like, you know, an NPC would give you instructions on where to go and you would follow them, and now the NPC just says, go over there, and somehow your character magically knows where to go now because of minimap icons, and it's like, that's lazy design.
Because way back when, you'd have a single typo, and that one quest would be ruined forever.
Yeah.
There's a famous quest in World of Warcraft where it's like, I can't remember, it's either like they either say west when they mean east or east when they mean west. As a result, it became like infamous for being impossible to clear without just asking somebody to tell you where to go.
Yeah.
Which game?
World of Warcraft is fascinating because like we got to see like that phenomenon I've described is something you can see in real time happen in World of Warcraft as you go through like you know, vanilla versus modern. Anyway.
Ah, there's the warrior. Heard you the good word. The Shazenkai has put their plans in motion, and will have my smithy once more. Never dared I dream that this day would come. Doma burned, Lord Kyan died, all because we were fools, and never again would I be a fool. But then you and the boy, Issei, and the girl, Lise, you spoke sense. Better to risk death as a fool than suffer a life without dreams. What is this blubbering which consumes me? Enough! Let us speak of the work! That is what matters, aye! The carpenters have claimed that site for their own. My blood may run with iron, but even I know Doma wants for lumber, so with wood we begin. Blessed are we to live at the mouth of the one river in such a humid clime. There are few teachers better than rot and rust. Ha ha ha! And here will be my smithy, a home for forge and anvil. But not yet. Not yet. Much iron lies beneath Doma's soil, waiting to be claimed, waiting to be shaped. All that we need she provides. Water, wood, ore. The materials are ours to command, to forge into tools for farmers, cooks, for all. Or so it once was. Imperial robbers and sneak thieves stole much of our mineral wealth for the Empire. Ha! To other provinces they would send Doma's riches, and in return we received their refuse. Rusted pots, broken plows. A travesty it was, and still is. Still we rely on inferior tools forced upon us by conquerors, but no longer. Doma knows what Doma needs, and she will make it with her own 2 hands. To this end, I will give everything. I swear. But I should like to see it before I die, and to that end we will need your help. Ha ha! Construction of the yard is proceeding apace. Okay.
And
Okay.
make sure you Make sure you cap out your donations for the week.
I did.
All right.
Yeah.
I did not. I did not. I donated like 12,000, and then I had to do the cutscene, and now I have to go back.
Gotcha. Few glories does a fool at the end of his life have to look forward to. Yet here I stand, at the beginning of a grand new endeavor. Tell me you do not enjoy it too. And back to the donation basket. Yeah, I go to the donation basket every week. On behalf of the Shazenkai lore, I thank you for your support. I am pleased to inform you that we have made great strides in our efforts to rebuild the Enclave. Owing to your many contributions, the art has seen further development. One of the ways made the Doma Enclave grow and change. On behalf of the Shazenkai, I thank you for your support. As I am sure you are aware, the southern portion of the yard, under Master Suranuki's supervision, is coming along quite well. Moreover, construction of the buildings adjacent to my office has begun. Several of these buildings have been designated for the production of traditional Doman arts and crafts, including paper. You may recall the gentleman we met in the stalls the other day, Master Araragi. He will be overseeing matters there. Come to think of it, perhaps you should go and introduce yourself to him. I know not if you have spoken with him since, but given the circumstances of that first meeting, he may not remember you. Well, that'll be a refreshing change.
Someone new I can impose myself onto.
Ha. Lore, was it? Forgive me. During our brief encounter at the stalls, I neglected to introduce myself properly. I am Araragi, a papermaker by trade. 'Tis all I have ever known in my altogether too long life. Are you wishing your life wasn't as long as it is? Greetings, Master Araragi. The construction of your paper mill is proceeding as planned, I trust? More or less, aye. Though it has not escaped my notice that progress on the ironmonger's workshops is outpacing mine. 1,000 pardons, Master Araragi. You may be assured that the Shazenkai has not chosen to favor either one of your proposals over the other. I know that full well, child. Save your apologies. I but give voice to my frustration at falling behind the old goat. If Master Suranuki has wronged or offended you in some fashion, perhaps the Shazenkai could arbitrate. Nah, it's an old grudge. No, there is no need for anything so dramatic. We have a long and storied history, he and I. Though our paths diverged long ago, we are peers, masters of our respective trades. And yet, every time we cross paths, I cannot help but see him as the reckless apprentice he once was. He brings out the worst in me. But never mind that. You wish to know of our progress, yes? As you can see, all is on schedule. Your contributions have helped us to come far indeed. Though it will be some time before we can begin producing paper as before, rest assured that the day will come before you know it, and the quality will surpass all expectations. For centuries, dolmen paper has been coveted the world over, and with good reason. The fibers of the kozo, a variety of your western mulberry, I believe, and the waters of the One River combine to create a product like none other. Each sheet is produced one at a time, with a technique unchanged since antiquity. Though relatively quick, this process takes years to master. Yet the effort is well worth it. Dolmen, well, yeah, it's sought after because it's so rare if you're only making a sheet at a time. Dolmen paper was prized for both its durability and its beauty, so much so that merchants would bicker and squabble and strive to outbid one another, so certain they were that they could still turn a profit. Indeed, it was arguably our most successful export. Kami willing, it will be again. Which reminds me, Kozakura, my dear, I trust you have given thought to whom we might sell our paper once production is commenced in earnest. While I am aware of our agreements with the Shayla traders and the Confederacy, I doubt very much that these parties will put much store by our product. We have made inquiries, but have yet to receive any replies. But you needn't worry about such things. We will see to the mercantile matters. You and your workers should devote your energies to building the mill. Well, I have an in with the Sultana of Ul'dah. Have no doubt that we are. I mislike losing to my iron-headed competitor. The road ahead is long, but I pray you will continue to walk it with us. Construction of the yard is proceeding apace. And back to the donation box. Though it pains me to do so, I must refuse any further contributions. Okay, cool.
Alright, let's group up for some dungeons.
Alright.
Milena, are you working on a weapon that you want to grind with us?
For Heavensward Relics.
Yeah. And you need to have the Relic equipped, by the way.
Dies in a cutscene. Minda. Okay.
So it'll be called the Animated something or other.
Wait. Animated Lunaris Rod. Cool.
Yeah. Item level 170.
Yes. Not in a position to do that. Haven't made progress since step 1. Alright, well, we're going to be unsynced, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's just the three of us, but if you want to join us, Milena, you're welcome to. then I'll invite Die once he's done with once he's back and done with the cutscene. I'm thinking blow them up. I remember doing that and seeing if I could improve my time for how fast boss died. Yeah. Competing for time sounds like it'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to do 10 of these, right?
Yep. Starting with Snowcloak. It is a Realm Reborn level 50.
Oh, Realm Reborn. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically the last few level 50 dungeons, and then it's the Heaven's Word leveling dungeons, I believe, is what the 10 are. It's like a tour of. It's a tour of the at the time that this quest came out. It's a tour of the last 10 dungeons that came out.
Gotcha. So, while we wait for Die, what have you been playing lately besides this?
The other day I was feeling nostalgic and booted up Arkham Asylum again.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, because honestly I've been meaning to do that ever since
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad came out, and reminded me, it's like, oh yeah, that studio used to make good games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I played that for a few days. It's like I've just been on like a DC kick in general, because I watched the new season of Superman with my D&D group, which was amazing. Highly recommend that show for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. It's very anime Superman, and it is great.
My Adventures with Superman.
My Adventures with Superman. Very anime, very good. Still need to watch Caped Crusader, the new Batman show, because that's also another thing that came out earlier this summer. And so yeah, played Arkham Asylum, and that game also still holds up, naturally.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I had a sudden minor stomachache.
Have not played much FF9 just because I haven't had much offhand time. Because that's my Switch. Because FF9 is my Switch game, so I mostly play when I'm out of the house, and I have not been out of the house much lately. So
fun coincidence. I just started an FF9 playthrough a couple of days ago.
Yeah. All right. I got your weapon equipped.
Just looking for it now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not purple yet, so it's a little hard to spot. There we go. Okay.
All right. Unsyncing.
Oop. What happened? Hello?
Hello?
What?
My screen just went black.
You're still in the game on our screen.
Opera crashing. Oh, that's weird. Apparently Opera's just crashed on me.
Just crashed on you?
His browser, I guess.
Oh, well. Okay.
Give me a moment, I will end task, reboot it, and
Well, we can you still get in the dungeon?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now.
Alright. Snow Cloak. Let's go.
Well, and then playing FF9 is probably going to take a back seat to Echoes of Wisdom, because that just came out this week.
Yeah. I've got my copy ordered. I'll be streaming it the second week of October.
Yeah, I'm probably going to... I have some shopping to do tomorrow, so I'll probably pick it up then and start playing it, because that is something I've been looking forward to.
Yeah, Law's been talking to me about his 9 playthrough, and I'm just like, see how much I know.
Hey, you got a few of the Black Mage spell locations wrong.
The blue mage spells? No, I didn't. I checked. I gave
You got them wrong at first, and I had to correct you.
I looked up afterwards. I gave accurate locations. You just have you just have different locations as well.
And it died before I could get a spell off.
Yep.
Take solar rays.
Yeah, this is why I usually go with machinist when I'm soloing stuff, is because you don't have to stop moving. You can just run. You can literally run and gun your way through an entire dungeon without stopping.
Gotcha.
And that's what Mullane is doing for us right now, which I appreciate. So,
but yeah, I'm going through 9 kind of slowly, trying to get all the blue mage spells as soon as you can get them, and doing all the chocograph stuff as soon as you can do it. I did run into an enemy while hunting blue mage spells that I've never seen before, because I never go that way at the point in the story where you have access to it.
yeah.
The nymphs to the north of Clara that cast night on the party.
Yeah, I'm used to only encountering the friendly nymph, and I get night from Abomination. Yeah, I wasn't wrong. I was just the same right. I was just a parallel right.
Huh.
Yeah, also continuing the discussion on, like, navigation and game design. Like, the thing is, like people are talking about, like, all the times in video games where, like, the instructions have been wrong, which kind of, like, illustrates the peril of that kind of thing, which is that it's just simply easier to not do that at all and just have waymarks and stuff.
Yeah.
Next is Shatasha Hard.
Sastasha.
Which is why developers just, took the easier path. But now it's getting to a point where, like...
Now people are trained to expect the waypoints and not pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm just clearing out a bunch of tabs.
Yeah, what was your tab total?
184?
I've got you beat.
I'm aware.
And whenever I get up to, like, double-digit tabs, I just give up and delete them.
Double?
Yeah.
Huh? How do you make do?
I mean, like, well, because like here's the biggest source of like tabitis for me is I'll be scrolling around on YouTube and I'll see a couple videos on the sidebar that catch my interest, and so I'll open them in a new tab to watch them later. It's like, okay, I'll watch that video later, and I'll watch that video later, and I'll watch that video later. But then once I have like 15 of those, I'm like, okay, I'm never actually going to go back and watch these, and so I delete all those tabs.
I have tabs that I went back and watched months after I first opened them.
Mm-hmm.
So, can't relate. IGU says, I mean, some people need those, presumably referring to the waypoints. The waypoints are not the problem. It's the gameplay habits that they engender in people. And I'm not sure that's a solvable problem. Like, I keep talking about this, but in Final Fantasy XIV, if that's your first RPG, there's a streamer I like named Jahara Jade, who Final Fantasy XIV was her first RPG, and I've complained at length before about random encounters and overworld encounters being useless if you're just going through the MSQ, and how the game encourages you to skip them, and that got her in a really bad habit of running from encounters. So when she played Final Fantasy IX.
You blame that on her playing 14 first. I think that the real problem is that she has played games in 2024. Because here's the thing that, like, us old heads need to, like, understand. Random encounters suck. Random encounters are really just, like, here's the thing. Like, this is something I thought about a lot when I was playing through Rebirth. Because, like, Rebirth has a whole bunch of faff with all of the Chadley stuff, right? And it's all filler. And, like, I actually like the Chadley content in Rebirth more than the average person, I think. But, like, it's all filler. It's all useless. The game would probably be better if you removed all of it.
No, I disagree.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree. I'm going to state, unequivocally that, in my opinion, the game would be better if you just removed all the Chadley stuff.
You mean all the open world stuff, period?
Yes. Yeah, like, remove all the open world stuff, just make it a run through the story quest.
To be fair, I would probably have finished it by now if it weren't for all the open world stuff.
Case in point, there you go.
And the open world stuff leads to interesting boss fights and lots of exploration.
Yeah,
I mean, it leads to
there's ways to do that with. There's ways to do that without being open world.
There's ways to do that without being open world, and there's ways to do that without adding 10 hours to the runtime. But, like, anyway, like, but, like, the thing is, like, the like epiphany I had playing through Rebirth is that all of the Chadley stuff is just random encounters with modern game design. It's the same function, it's just there to pad out the runtime of the game and, like, add some stuff in between the story bits. And, like, you know, 20 years ago, they didn't have the technology to do that. Next is Temple of Hard Heart. And so, you know, 20 years ago, they didn't have the technology to, you know, add a whole bunch of... Well, actually, it's not even that. It's what it was, you know, back in the 90s, you had your random encounters, where, like, you'd be running through a field and monsters would show up and fight you.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone said, that's not a very engaging way to do things. And so then developers were like, okay, well, we'll put a quest so that you have to kill a bunch of random stuff. And there's, like, a sense of, like, reward for doing so. You know, there's like, quest, you know, like, you're not just fighting random bears, you are making progress on a quest. Mm-hmm. And, like, that ethos of game design evolves to the point where now you have, you know, an entire NPC at Rebirth dedicated to open world exploration content. And so, And so, like, yeah, you're complaining about, someone wanting to skip random encounters in an old game. Yeah, that's not because they played Final Fantasy XIV. That's because, like, modern games don't do that anymore. They just, they add context to side content. Or they just, like, don't do it at all because it's useless, which I think would be the better solution, but
I
can't really do.
I quite simply find your perspective alien because that's playing the game. I like the combat in turn-based RPGs. I like the little strategy fights in turn-based RPGs. If you took out the random encounters and just had a boss fight every so often, or scripted fights every so often, I would find that less fun because that's less to do.
Reminded that last time I played Final Fantasy IX, I beat it with less than 1,000 enemies killed. So I didn't really do that much with the battles.
I guess that this comes back to you guys thinking I'm silly for complaining about how little Final Fantasy XIV wants you to play the game.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say it wants you to not play the game. It just random encounters have a like overworld encounters have an entirely different purpose.
I'll do that real quick.
Oh, and it's such a nice name as well.
Sensual bullfrog. Wow.
Yeah, like that's a different thing because the problem is random encounters are not the game in FF14.
Yeah,
it's kind of the whole thing there.
Well, why are they there then?
What are the purposes? They're material drops for crafting, various quest targets, etc. It's just they're just not random encounters.
Yeah.
They have purpose rather than just being there to slow your progress.
Well, yeah, but unless you're doing side content, they're just set dressing.
Yes.
And that's bad.
No.
No.
They have
purpose. They're just not the main scenario.
Yeah, the game wants you to walk past the gameplay.
No.
And not do it.
The game
doesn't want you to walk past the gameplay. The game wants you to pick up the quest to kill the monsters and then kill the monsters.
And you get that quest once, and then the quest is gone, and there's no reason to do it again unless you're crafting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because once you've done a thing, you don't need to do it 1,000 more times just because it's there.
What if the thing to do is fun?
Then do it anyway.
But the game doesn't want me to do it.
The game wants you to do what you want to do. It is there as an option if you choose to do so.
Yeah, but if I do it, it negatively affects the rest of the game.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it overlevels you.
The game specifically has level sinks to prevent that from being a problem. It's not like the main games where when you get to a boss, if you're over leveled, it'll be really easy. In this case, you just your level drops to match the boss.
Yeah.
And once again, we get back to the bosses being the only gameplay.
But no, the overworld combat isn't the focus of the game, but it's still used for various side content, whereas the main focus of the game is doing duties. But you're acting as if just because something isn't the main...
We have a little bit of story to do.
Yeah, you're acting as if just because something isn't the main story, it's worthless.
I'm not acting like side content is worthless. I'm acting like stuff the game actively disincentivizes you from doing is worthless.
But it doesn't. You just because you don't need to fight them as part of the story doesn't mean that they've not got a purpose.
Yeah. You see, the point we're trying to make is that and the point that I'm kind of making about random encounters in general, is that, like, there's more to the mobs. Like, you don't just run into a mob and fight it. Like, there's stuff around the mob. Like, you might kill a mob because you need a material from it, or a blue mage spell. But, like, if you're just going to, like, run face first into a monster and fight it for no reason other than it was there, like, that kind of sucked. It sucks in old RPGs. It would suck in FF14 if it were that way. It sucked in World of Warcraft when I was playing with mobs that, like, had a bigger aggro range than they do typically in this game. And I would just rather not bother. I would rather run past them, get on with my business. And if I have a reason to fight the monsters, I'll fight them for that reason.
Well, let's talk about old RPGs for a moment then. Final Fantasy VI has some of the best gameplay in the series because every encounter, including the random schlub monsters around the world, is balanced so that it's a race against the monsters to deal enough damage to survive. It is tense, it is exciting, and it is fun to fight random encounters in Final Fantasy VI.
Okay.
And that's just one example.
It's an entirely different genre, though. I mean, like, if we were to equate that kind of thing with Final Fantasy XIV, especially since in an MMO you are traveling from a lot of places, long distances.
Let's actually click on this NPC and then continue this conversation.
All right, yeah, let's do the plot and then we'll finish the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to see you are still whole. But tell me, have you noticed any changes in the anima? I see. It grows far more slowly than I had anticipated. No matter. Let us continue. End of conversation.
Yeah.
Really? We needed a cutscene for that? Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine how frustrating it would be, though, if you're trying to get from A to B in an MMO? Like, okay, there's a
Keeper of the Lake.
There's a gathering spot on the other side of the map. Okay, every single time I get near an enemy, I am walled off and have to either fight them in difficult combat or do whatever hoops I have to jump through in order to be able to escape. Every single time I encounter an enemy along the way.
Now, here's one of the things I do like about Final Fantasy XIV is that once you're strong enough, enemies ignore you, so that it gets rid of having to...
in the next dungeon.
Right. What's next?
Yeah.
Keeper of the Lake.
Okay, but like, you're at the level cap, and you are trying to gather in the level cap's final zone where everything is your level. You'd still be having the issue of, okay, I am now trapped in difficult combat.
You do remember that there's an invisibility ability that the gatherers have, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
but we're trying to meet you on your terms. You're the one who wants more random faff, and so we're pretending that doesn't exist.
And for combat jobs, if you're trying to go from fate to fate, you keep getting trapped you keep getting locked into an encounter along the way. You are going to run out of time before you get there.
I honestly think that's a failing of MMOs as a genre.
No, I just bear in mind, like, remember how massively praised games like Chrono Trigger and Persona 3 onwards are for not having random encounters. Like they're every time an RPG has like shrugged the concept of just random encounters off, they get praised.
Yeah. I am listening to very different people than you because I've never really processed that as a thing people praise.
It's constant. Like it's one of the big things that people praise Chrono Trigger for.
And I praise Chrono Trigger because the combat is fun. I don't skip enemies because the combat is fun. The game makes me want to fight enemies. And like it's designed in such a way that it is fun to fight random enemies.
I get it.
I have tried Dragon Quest 1. Dragon Quest 1 is miserable for various reasons. But that's a very primitive prototype of an RPG from the early days of gaming.
I already got them.
Yeah.
Like
a game being praised for letting you skip enemies sounds to me like a failure of game design. If it's not fun enough to fight enemies that you're... If it's so unfun to fight enemies that you're skipping enemy encounters whenever you can, why are you playing the game?
Just honestly, this game, like, this genre would be absolutely miserable if you had if encounters were forced like that. Just traveling in this game would become miserable.
Yeah. Like, just like getting from point A to point, like if I'm trying to get from point A to point B, I just want to go over there. Like this is why like every remake of the old FF set of like old FF RPGs, like they have like a feature now.
Oh yeah, the
just,
cheat
like,
that lets
turn
you
off
skip
random
everything.
encounters. Like there's a button I can press. Like I'm playing through FF9 on my Switch. There's a button I can press. Like it's literally a face button. I don't even have to go into a menu. That will just turn off random encounters because that's how modern gamer sensibilities are nowadays.
Hang on, I want to articulate something, and I need to think about how to express it.
Yeah, Haven, I think, nailed it.
Yes.
Like, that's what I was saying earlier about how, like, I fight the enemies when I have reason to.
There's a lot of gear.
We're actually going to need Grand Company seals, so I'm actually, like, rolling on this stuff.
Haven says, I think you're kind of missing the point of what people criticize random encounters for. It's not I don't like fighting enemies. It's I want agency in what I fight and when. Yeah. See, that's a fair point, but
like, and that's why I was trying to say earlier about how, like, the mobs in FF14 aren't useless. They're there for a reason. It's just the reason is not...
It's not main gameplay.
It's not the main
scenario.
It
is main gameplay. It's just the main gameplay is not walking from point A to point B. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. Is you are acting like walking from point A to point B is the main gameplay, and it is not. It simply is not.
And I find it a problem that it's not fun to go from point A to point B because you're just flying from...
Palace Hard is the next one.
You get on your mount, you get into the air, and you skip everything. And that's a waste.
But you're not skipping everything, you're just not doing the specific content that stuff is for. Like, you may as well... This is kind of the equivalent of saying Pokemon contests is worthless because they're not... It's not the badge route.
Well, the Pokemon contests aren't historically the main gameplay of the genre.
But the random encounters have never been have never been the main gameplay of an MMO.
And that comes back to me having a problem with MMOs.
But that also means the last thing you said was just completely irrelevant.
Well, I think that... Okay, hang on. I need to articulate this. Repels are bad in Pokemon because everyone should have to run into 50 Zubats when they go into a cave. I think there's a balance you can go between Gen 1 Pokemon and skipping everything, IGU. Like, that's a problem with Pokemon's encounter rates.
Yeah, but it does, like...
I freely acknowledge that is a problem with the Pokemon games. Is you fight trash too often.
And that would be a big problem with this game if you had to do the random encounters.
Yeah.
Like, this is a game where you spend a hell of a lot more time in than most RPGs as well.
Oh, I know that much.
Yeah, like there's just there's like a lot of time to be spent in this game already. Adding more time, killing enemies that you don't need to kill, and don't even necessarily like get anything from them. Like yeah, it just.
Yeah, this game is not short of combat either. Like, there is so much combat content in this game. Having random encounters would not help.
No. Yeah, like, and that kind of, like... Because, like, the thing is, like, if they were to, like, if the mobs in this game were more aggressive, and so you were forced to fight them every time you walked past them, like, that would be the worst part of the game. Like, even if it was good, it would still be the worst part of the game, because it would be, like, the lowest tier of, what's the word I'm looking for? That's, like, the lowest tier of,
engagement?
Of engagement, yes.
I would like to point out that you just said that fighting random enemies in this game is bad and not fun.
No.
I'm saying that, like, even if it was good, it would be the worst part of the game, because that's the lowest.
Yeah, you just said it wasned good.
No, I said
it would be the worst part of the game. Listen to the word.
Yeah.
You just okay. The words that came out of your mouth were even if it was good.
Yeah,
Yes.
he meant even if this theoretical scenario that we are talking about was a good scenario.
Yeah. And it wouldn't, and I don't think it would be. I think it would just be like annoying, and like would get in the way. It would just be an annoying roadblock, like it is like random encounters in typical RPGs.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god,
Even if it was good, it would still be the lowest. It would still be like the lowest tier of engagement.
Yeah,
And so why even bother with it at that point?
I'd like to read something that what?
The amount of people turned off by a Realm Reborn being slow already, that would be absolutely deadly.
I'd like to read something that just got said in chat. Having played WoW Classic, where travel is slow, it's pretty frustrating at times needing to set aside 10 minutes to get somewhere to do something. And that's because getting from place to place is boring. My sing-song refrain of back and forth across the world, when will we do things, is a legit complaint I have about Final Fantasy XIV. I love the story, I'm happy to do story, but the amount of stuff that expects me to just fly from one end of a zone to another, doing nothing, is a flaw of the game.
It'd be even more boring if you had to fight the same enemies over and over for 20 minutes every time you went back and forth.
And like, that's a flaw of the MMO genre.
No, that'd be a flaw of what you are suggesting. I
acknowledge that it may be an unsolvable problem, but it is a problem.
And now we're moving on to M to Port Keep Hard. Which one was that? Was that the one? Yeah, was that the one with the devil or the one without the devil? I forgot.
I think it's the one. Oh, it's not Keep. This is the one where the jungler is
Yeah.
Ferdinand. Ferdinand, that's it.
We have gotten a little off track, I think. with the origin point of this conversation.
Yeah.
Which is that in traditional RPGs, I think that if the combat is fun, random encounters are perfectly acceptable and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, you can't have that. You can't make every encounter in an MMO, like, especially if you're going to have random encounters. You can't make them all the kind of engagement that you'd actually want from a fight.
And that is something I complain about with MMOs.
And it's also an issue with ordinary RPGs, because the amount of times you just end up doing, just mashing attack with no need for anything else.
Let's use Final Fantasy VI and IX as an example, both of which have actual strategy to even random encounters that can fucking murder you.
I mean, I never actually had any difficulty with the random encounters in 6 or 9.
Yeah, me neither. It's like...
Well, I guess maybe my experience of 6 was colored by me ending the game relatively underleveled, so maybe this is not what most people's experience with 6 is, as far as the exciting, engaging gameplay, but I beat the game at level 42 to 45.
Yeah.
And if that's not how people usually play Final Fantasy VI, they should, because it was really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just... Like the thing is, like, at this point, I'm old. I don't have time, like when I was playing these kinds of games back in the olden times when I was a teenager, yeah, it was fun to just, like, kill random mobs, you know, in FF6 for hours on end. But, like, I don't got that kind of time anymore, man. Like, if I'm going to, like, fight something in a game, I want there to be, like, a reason to do it.
Plus, how do you balance MMO random encounters for a single for a party of a full party versus a single healer?
I did say earlier that this may be an unsolvable problem for MMOs.
Yeah, like, it really is just a case of the mobs have very specific purposes. They exist, they are important, but they are not just obstacles. Ooh, I like this striking through this. Testing gloves.
Underleveled because you don't do random encounters because they suck? No, I went out of the way to do random encounters because the natural flow of the game, running from point A to point B, fighting stuff along the way, left me at like level 30 when I was ready to go into the final dungeon. Well fought, Lore. You know, these lands really are quite beautiful, dangerous though they may be. Were it not for my logbook, I would swear I was on some manner of sightseeing tour. Of course, all that ghastly bloodletting does rather spoil the picture, but I digress. How is the anima? Still no changes? That is most unfortunate. Yet we must take solace in the fact that it has not yet faded from the weapon. I am certain it will quicken. 'Tis but a question of when. Let us press on to our next destination. Lead the way, Lore. Oh? Interesting. I wonder what that's going to look like once it's finished.
So next is Dusk Vigil.
We're into Heavensward.
So yeah, Ott brings up a good point about the MMO side of things, and Haven brings up a good point about the RPG side of things.
Dusk Vigil, you said?
What?
Dusk Vigil, you said?
Yes, Dusk Vigil.
Normal or hard?
There is no hard.
Only one.
Okay.
It's my least favorite dungeon.
Anyway, Ott brings up a good point about the MMO side of things, which is that random fights in an MMO creates a pacing problem when you are trying to meet up with friends and like all do the same thing. Like this was a huge problem in old school World of Warcraft, where you had to like physically meet up at a point in game in order to do group content.
Oh, that sucks.
It's not like, it's not like this. In this game, you just open up a menu and go to the dungeon and boom, you're there.
Yeah, you used to have to travel to the entrance of the dungeons.
Yes. You used to have to travel to the entrance of a dungeon, which was annoying if there were a bunch of monsters in the way. And
there were
so like inevitably what would happen was like everybody would be coming in from whatever far-flung corners of the world, and I ran into a monster and died. Give me a few minutes, I need to run back to my body. Okay, now now I'm back at my body, now I'm back on the run. Some random enemy player attacked me because world PvP is a thing.
World PvP
now
is...
it's been 20 minutes, and now everyone's been waiting at the dungeon for 20 minutes for one guy to show up because he's busy killing monsters in the world.
Yeah, there were no aetherytes, so you had to travel manually. The only way to teleport anywhere was using the Hearthstone to go back to a place where you had set to be your home.
Yeah, or be a mage. I was a mage, so I could teleport over the place. It was great. And like, yeah, that's a problem. So like that's one very good reason to make world mobs not very aggressive, because like it becomes a roadblock for the group content, which is like the whole point of a massively multiplayer game. And then Haven brings up the good point. One of the reasons for backlash against random encounters is that there were explicitly games designed to waste time, so you couldn't beat the game in a weekend by renting it back in the day. And random encounters were seen as one of the mechanics for that towards the end. Haven says whether that's true or not is up for debate. I don't think it is. I think it's just true. And whether or not that's a problem is personal taste. Like, it is strictly true that, like, yes, that's why random encounters exist. Whether or not that's a problem is what's up for debate.
Yeah, and honestly, one of the things that makes random encounters engaging is resource management, like trying to manage how much you're using. That's not really a thing in MMOs because you regenerate.
Well, it kind of can't be a thing in MMOs just because like MMOs happen in real time. Like, you are playing the game at the rate that your character is playing the game. In an RPG, you can like pitch a tent and simulate having your characters rest for a day.
Mm-hmm.
And like time dilation is a thing that can happen. With MMOs, it's just like you have the resources that you have because you are playing the game and spending resources at the rate that you spend them. And like that's also true of like just kind of like any game with a persistent world. Like, it's also kind of true for like Dark Souls and the other Souls-like games, because they don't have a pause button. And so once again, you just sort of have the resources that you have.
I would say that I find
people would sell their services as teleport mages. Yeah, I made a bunch of money that way back in the day.
Huh.
Good times.
I would say that the resource management strategy of how to do the random encounters, how to engage with them, what resources to use, how to prepare for a trip from one place to another in a traditional RPG is more engaging than a large part of Final Fantasy XIV's gameplay. I think that FF14's dungeon gameplay would be worse if you had to do that, but it's missing that aspect that I do like about traditional RPGs. And that's something I find less fun about this game than traditional RPGs. And I would like to... I was challenged earlier about me being underleveled in 6 because I skipped encounters. I skipped 0 encounters up until the end game. I fought everything. I killed everything that I faced in a random encounter. What's the next dungeon?
Somehow. Well, now we're just going through Heaven's Sword.
I don't know why I asked, yeah. I didn't skip a single encounter in Final Fantasy VI until the end game areas, and I don't think I even did then, unless it was something that I was clearly unable to fight. And like, it's I wound up underleveled having fought everything. I didn't go out of my way to grind, and I wound up underleveled and having a really interesting experience as a result. I did grind to prepare for the final dungeon, and I ground up to 42 to 45 with the 4 characters I wanted to use. And I still was underleveled, and I had a great time. I think 6 hits a special balance there with its combat system where it's really fun to fight stuff that's a little too strong for you over and over again on the overworld. And that may be why that's such a good pinnacle of random encounter design. But even and the other end is Final Fantasy VII, which is too easy.
I mean, I don't know whether it was you being underleveled or if it was your strategies, because you weren't exactly... It was a nightmare trying to convince you to use magic in Final Fantasy VI, which is... Like, magic is kind of the main thing about 6's combat, and is where all the power is. We just could not get you to use it.
I think you're exaggerating there, because about 2/5 of the way through the game, I swapped over to a magic strategy.
No, you didn't swap over to a magic strategy until after you got hard stuck at Ultima Weapon, and I stepped in to give you instructions.
Yeah, and that's like 2/5 of the way through the game if you do all the stuff in the World of Ruin.
More than 2/5. A lot more.
I will say that maybe it was also that I took a min-maxer approach to stats, because it was explained to me what the stats do and what was not useful to use to level up and what was. And so I went all in on magic every level. And despite the HP ups being negligible, it probably added up.
Yeah, Melina's agreeing with me.
No, Melina says aside from Punch Wizard, you need very. Oh, she's saying I used very little.
You used very little magic until you got the Ultima spell.
Yeah, your main method of using magic was equipping the swords that can cast fire, blizzard, and thunder, and using them for way longer than you really should have.
So much like playing Black Mage in FF14, you played the game on hard mode without realizing it, and you're praising the game's difficulty curve because of it. And it's like, well, there's your problem. Like, if you okay, so here we go. I think this is just a lore thing now.
No, I will say that I still had that experience after I started using magic. I still had that experience throughout the World of Ruin. Like, I was still enjoying the combat and the random encounters being difficult throughout the World of Ruin. So that's not true. It stayed that fun even after I got a better strategy. I would like to point out that my one of my 3 least favorite Final Fantasies, part of the reason I hate it, Final Fantasy VIII, is because you are disincentivized from fighting stuff. You are disincentivized from playing the game because it penalizes you for playing the game.
No, you're disincentivized from leveling up, but you still want to actually do the random encounters in order to mug and card.
Oh, are you talking about Final Fantasy VIII?
Welcome to our biggest argument in the entire history of this playthrough.
We're talking about random encounters. At the moment, it landed on 8, but we've been all over the map.
I think if they do a remake of 8, they should just take levels out.
Yeah.
And all you should be grinding for is ability points with your girlfriend.
That would be an interesting take, yeah. I mean, that would make it more like Final Fantasy II, but hopefully they learn from Final Fantasy II.
Oh,
but it would be more.
They made the Romancing Saga games.
The Airy next, right?
Oh, true, Romancing Saga games. I loved Saga Frontier when I was a kid. I didn't even know it was part of a series.
Minda?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Romancing Saga games are literally just pure sequels to 2, just in a different world.
And what a coincidence! Final Fantasy VIII is a romantic saga.
Hey.
Much to its detriment.
Yeah, they really should have, like, Renoir, however you want to pronounce it. Renoir and Squall have have very good chemistry. Like, for example, the whole animated cutscene where they dance together is really well executed. It shows their character very well and how they move and interact. It's just too bad the story is too obsessed with putting the camera on them as they meander through their romance to talk about the rest of its themes and characters.
Every time you get a look at something interesting in Final Fantasy VIII's world, every time the world building is cool, the characters aside from Squall and Renoa have interesting development, or every time there's interesting stuff going on, the game says, no, pay attention to the romance.
And the romance would do so much better if the game wasn't doing that the whole time.
Especially given the
chemistry, the game's just obsessed.
Especially given the context of the game that followed it immediately, where the main romance was very naturally done, naturally woven into the story, and happens over the course of a lot of small interactions.
Yeah, a bit big. Like,
Garnet, Zidane and Garnet are my favorite.
Apart from each other.
Yeah, 8 genuinely has a good story. It just doesn't necessarily feed it to you very well, especially with the translation.
Fumbles trying to do so.
Like the translation literally just removed the villain's motivation speech.
I mean, it also translated like 3 separate phrases from Squall, all of which were different variations of like, it can't be helped, or I can't do anything about that, or like, what do you want me to do? Just whatever.
Yeah. Is it unfair of me to compare 8 to 9? Because Zidane and Garnet are my favorite romance of all time.
Well, for one thing, 9 got a good translation.
Yeah, 8 is just like a weird beast of a game.
8 is very brave. Mechanically, it's very brave. It tries interesting things and new mechanics and new approaches to the genre, and it's all bad. But they tried new things. I respect it for that. I just hate it.
8 is a Lego sculpture that doesn't look great, made from pieces that individually look fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I think when it comes to having massive remakes, 8 may potentially be the one that would gain the most out of a full-scale remake.
I feel like that's just like a true thing in general that producers of like movies and video games, etc., sleep on. Is that like why do people waste time remaking good shit when they could remake bad shit?
Yeah.
I mean, even then, I don't
Well,
think it's bad. I just think it has issues.
I think the counterpoint to that statement, your statement is generally true, but I think the counterpoint to that statement is something we discussed a little ways back about the video games as a medium, which is that it's so young and the technology and techniques involved have been advancing at such a quick rate during the time it's been a thing that updating good games to modern standards, like adding voice acting to Final Fantasy IX would be amazing. For example, even if they did nothing but add voice acting to Final Fantasy IX, I would pay like $50 for that.
Yeah, and you probably will pay $50 for that in the near future if the various leaks are to be believed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like, video games as a medium aren't really that young at this point. Like, they're
they
half
are
a century
compared to
old.
like print.
I mean, but they're half a century old, and like we weren't really considering film.
Well, the other thing is just like, because like the thing is like a 50-year-old video game is not the same as a 5-year-old video game. Is kind of the point that Lore's getting at.
I would say that the time frame for games that could be considered the ancestors of modern stuff that have enough substance to be worth remaking starts with the NES. 35 years ago.
Later than that, like if we're talking
Well,
about,
no,
like,
because we've got The Legend of Zelda and Final Fantasy I.
Yeah.
Like Zelda, Metroid, Final Fantasy I, just a few examples. The NES has stuff worth remaking. What?
The Earthbound, the original Earthbound could easily get one as well.
Oh, you're talking about Mother 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are just a couple examples.
I mean, but yeah, we would. I don't think we were considering like film to still be a young medium when it was over 50 years old.
The technology of film hasn't had that many dramatic changes compared to video games.
That like that's the thing is that like film went from black and white to color.
Film has had a few jumps. Black and white to color is one of them. Silent to sound is another.
Special effects.
Special effects are a third. The jump from practical to CGI. And all of these things have
even the method of even the types of physical, even the styles of practical effects, they grew rapidly in the first 50 years.
Yeah.
Practical effects.
But like every 5 minutes, something new happens in video games.
Yeah.
You don't get that rate of rapid and dramatic advancement in film to the same degree. That's not to say that it didn't have dramatic advancements over the course of its history, but they weren't happening at the same rate to the same degree as often
and it certainly
as they do.
doesn't happen anymore. Like now, the changes to film are just like incremental changes in, like, physical versus digital film, which is not like a game changer. That's just sort of like technology advancing. But anyway, where was I going with this? But yeah, so like Laura and I were talking the other day, and Laura asked like, what are some games that are like too sacred to remake?
I said too dangerous to remake.
Too dangerous to remake? Like I like the word decision. Like and like the thing is like, and my answer was like, I don't think there are any, because like video games as a, like, because like there are movies that you can't remake. Like you can't remake Citizen Kane. That would be dumb. No one would even think to try and do that. And there are just like there just are no video games that are like that.
I think the most.
Count Bob's really on my side right now.
What?
Count Bob is
Bob's
mad at
really
us
on
for
my
trash
side.
talking the advancements of film history.
Yeah.
I think there are games that are dangerous to remake, but they've all been remade. Ocarina, RE4,
Metal Gear Solid with Twin Snakes.
What was the other one I named? Shit, there was another one I named. Hang on. Shit, what was the other one I named?
I think one that would actually be a massive risk to remake would be Sonic Adventure 2, or Sonic Adventure, because if
Final Fantasy VII was the other one I named.
Yeah, if they were remade badly, that would just absolutely put the nail in the coffin for Sonic.
I don't think Metroid 1 was the dangerous Metroid game to remake. I think if any of them, Super Metroid is the one that's dangerous to remake. Metroid 1, and here's the point that I was roundabout going to make about video game remakes, is that because things advance so often and so quickly with video games, and games of even 2 years ago are almost not comparable to games of today because of the rapid advancements that happen. You get people saying, you don't get people saying, no, how dare you remake this perfect game. You get people saying, oh, hell yeah, they're going to update that game to 2023 standards.
Yeah.
There are dangerous games to remake, but they've all been remade and apparently have all knocked it out of the park. Like, I loved RE4 Remake. Resident Evil 4 is one of the golden games. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my third favorite game of all time.
I still need a Persona 2 remakes. Give me them.
Would you prefer one remake for each game, or just one remake that is basically the length of both the games?
Well, given that a Persona game is usually about 100 hours anyway, and each Persona 2 takes roughly 50 hours, I'm pretty sure that we could basically get the best of both worlds.
I think the problem with that, package them together, but don't present them as the same game, because there's a protagonist switch between them, right?
Yeah, like
kind of like Digimon, Cyber Sleuth, and
Hacker's Memory.
Yeah, it would feel bad to get all your power and progress mechanically reset halfway through a single game.
Yeah, put them on the same disc, but have you select them independently.
Yeah,
like they're doing with Shadow Generations. But yeah, despite the the fact that you start again from scratch technically, I do consider them the same game in two forms.
Yeah. RE3 Remake was terrible? Yes, it was. RE3 Remake... RE3 was not a dangerous game to remake, though. RE3 was mostly just okay. And RE3 Remake was a bad remake. If RE3 Remake had just been a new game and wasn't remaking RE3, it would have been okay. It would have been fun.
The biggest problem with RE3 Remake is that we already had a better Resident Evil 3 remake when we had the Resident Evil 2 remake. Oh, look. Our buddy's here.
RE4 was a dangerous one to remake because RE4 is one of the most beloved games of all time. it's held up as the gold standard Resident Evil, even today. And here's the thing, RE4 had massive world-shattering effects on how games were made. RE4 was the first modern third-person shooter, and its DNA can be found in every third-person shooter that came out over the last 20 years. RE4, OG RE4 has effects on the medium of video games that are reverberating today, and they're not done.
Now Bob says, I disagree. Well, you're incorrect. Like, I'm sorry. This is not like a matter of opinion. This is just sort of like historical fact that this is how important Resident Evil 4 was to the games industry.
All right, let me read this cutscene, then we'll continue discussing RE4. Ah, there you are. I am glad to see you unhurt. Pray forgive me. While waiting here, my eyes could not help but be drawn to the architecture. Breathtaking, is it not? Back to the matter at hand. How fares the animal weapon? Surely by now it has shown some hint of life. The anima took on a corporeal form. Then it has quickened. Geralt must hear of this. I will return to Azizla and relay to him the good news. What, Di?
He was like, we should probably have told him this like four dungeons ago when he was walking off.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't care about this little jackass. When you are rested, meet with us there. I'm talking about how dangerous of a remake it was. It was an incredibly safe remake because it was always going to make money. I'm talking more about the goodwill that Capcom would have expended with the fans if RE4 remake had been bad.
Yeah, we meant dangerous as in like how you could fuck it up if you tried to mess with it, more so than dangerous financially. Not financial risk so much as like artistic creative risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's why I mentioned the Sonic Adventure games. I think that they could be very, very threatening to like the Sonic franchise if remakes of those were handled badly.
I feel like the Sonic is a weird one. Like, I feel like the Sonic...
Let me cut you off there. We'll continue that thought after the cutscene.
Yeah.
Where to? Okay, cutscene's over.
Yeah, I think the Sonic franchise and fandom is so fractured across, like, multiple generations of people who grew up with different ideas of what Sonic games are like, that most Sonic fans I don't think would have strong feelings one way or the other about an Adventures remake, because like you'd have like the people your age would be like looking forward to it because it'd be a nostalgia trip, and most people would be like, oh yeah, those games from 20 years ago, I saw the Snapcube dub of them, they were fun.
I don't know, like in the Sonic community, like even nowadays, the adventure games are one of the biggest point of contentions and conversations and debate there is. Like, they are very impactful games in the franchise.
Less Sonic Adventure 1 than Sonic Adventure 2, which is a massive cultural touchstone.
You have to unequip your weapon now to turn in the quest.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 is a massive cultural touchstone, as evidenced by how much people are freaked out when it was confirmed that Shadow was going to be Sonic the Movie 3, and how people are freaking out because everything coming out about Sonic 3 is good, and how cool Shadow is in the trailers, though.
How excited everyone is that we're going to get to see a young girl with fantasy HIV get shot live on camera.
After the success of the RE1 remake, people were salivating for an RE4 remake. You mean RE2 remake? Because RE1 remake came out 20 years ago, before RE4 came out.
I'm sure they meant to.
Yeah. RE2 remake was my favorite horror game of all time until I played the Dead Space remake. All right, I guess I should do the plot. Lore, you are returned. Excellent. Thank the bloody gods. Maybe now you can stop gibbering like a bleeding Oppo and tell me what happened out there. I'm guessing things went well. Have you not listened to a word I've said? Gerald says, no. Lore believes the anima has achieved cognitive self-awareness, manifesting itself as a corporeal form, independent of the receptacle you created. I've had it up to here with your bleeding cogs and corpses. Speak plain, boy. It's got a body. Having experienced battle together with Lore, the anima has melded with your weapon. More than that, the anima may have taken on a unique physical form. It spoke to you. Remarkable. But what did it sound like? And what did it say? I thought I heard a woman whispering. Amazing. The anima is already learning how to communicate. Oh, if only my master were here. I can hardly wait to see what else it is capable of. And I look forward to going home. Any road, give us the weapon, will you? I'll bet there's still room for improvement somewhere or other. Mars Rod awoken! Interesting. What did I tell you? Better than new. If that animal was sleeping before, it sure as hell's ain't sleeping now. Never seen a weapon do that in all me years in the trade. What an exquisite glow. It's as if the anima could burst forth at any moment. If so young an anima was able to take form of its own volition, imagine what it might become given time. A force that shines bright enough to make the very stars burn with envy. Some heights of power. Now I talk to him again?
I believe we have to have the weapon equipped for that.
Also, people are someone in chat. What was so bad about RE3? The RE3 make, and that is a complicated question.
I'll get into that as soon as I finish the plot part of what's about to happen, because there is some stuff to talk about RE3 make.
Mm-hmm.
Coming into its own. Please note that upon completing the quest, you will receive an animal weapon for a black mage. Undertake this quest as a black mage. Will get me Vergilmir.
When's the Novum?
The anima's growth thus far is well beyond what I expected. By absorbing ether during our travels, it has matured enough to take on a form separate from the weapon, and even speak to Lore. To grow so quickly would have required a substantial amount of ether. However, the Soul Stone is not without its limits. As it continues to absorb ether and grow, I fear it may not bear the strain of further development. You're telling me after all the work I did, the anima could swell up like a bombard and burst? I better have a plan to fix it, because I sure as hell ain't starting over. Who exactly do you think you're talking to? This is my life's work, as short a time as that may be. Of course I have a plan. If we can reinforce the Soul Stone and increase its capacity for etheric energies, it should remain stable. I will speak with Rowena and see to collecting what we require. Oh, this is where we have to buy stuff, right?
Yeah.
You had me fooled when you was begging and pleading to see those Charlian books before. Good to know your incompetence was only for show. Well, seeing as you have everything under control, if you don't mind, I think I'll run off to some tavern to get deep in your cups. Sadly, you haven't the time nor the coin for it. Not when you have a new weapon to make for our friend Lore here. A new weapon? I just finished fixing the one she has now. Why the hells do you need another? Just as we develop and change over time, it is only fitting the anima should as well. Or do you mean to tell me you were always such a gentleman, even as a child? Oh, it never ends, does it? Fine. If it'll help settle me debt with Rowena, you'll have your bleeding weapon. If we're attaching the Soul Stone to a new weapon, we're going to need materials for conducting ether. That's where you come in. I need you to go and fetch me some enchanted rubber, fast-drying carbon coat, fast-acting Allergan catalyst, and divine water. I know a lass in Mordona what sells them. Christiana is her name. Like as not, you'll find her keeping a corner somewhere at the House of Splendors. They won't come cheap, but you're a resourceful sort. I'm sure you'll think of something.
Yeah, this is where we need brand company sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pinned the shopping list for the next quest.
Yeah. We won't do that on stream, though. Okay, so RE3 Make. Here's some backstory for the development of RE3 Make. RE2 Make was done by one of the primary Capcom development studios. RE3 Make was not. RE3 Make was a different team that I don't remember whether it was one of Capcom's in-house studios or an outside studio contracted to do it, but
I think it was the latter.
yeah, but they got RE3 Make. During the development of RE3 Make, they were also given development of RE8 Village. And then RE3 Make came out, and it was not well received. So RE8 got taken away from that studio and handed to the RE2 Make dev team, who did what they could to salvage the game. I liked RE8. I think it had a lot of problems, but I liked RE8 overall. And then RE4 Make was handed to that same dev team, the RE2 Make dev team.
This is also why we haven't gotten a Resident Evil 9 yet, because like the plan was if RE3 was good, they probably would have handed RE4 Make off to that same team, and you would have like the external team developing the remakes while the main team continued to develop the mainline series. But then they realized, oh wait, no, we can't trust outsiders with this shit, so we're doing it all ourselves.
Yeah. To be fair, it's only been 3 years since RE8 came out. I'm not surprised they haven't announced it yet. Yeah, no. And then
I think that like I genuinely do think that we would have RE9 by now. Like we would have gotten RE9 instead of RE4 Make.
Yeah, fair enough. After RE2 Make and RE4 Make, I do trust that dev studio to handle the series going forward, though. I think RE2 Make and RE4 Make were so good that I'm looking forward to whatever they release next. Are they the ones doing RE5 Make? Do we know?
I don't think RE5 Make has been confirmed as an actual thing. It seems fairly obvious because they're like building up to it in RE4 Make, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, as to like the actual like reasons why it was bad, not just like dev, gossip. There were a bunch of reasons why 3 Make was bad. One, the biggest reason is that RE2 Make is a better Resident Evil 3 adaptation.
Yeah, and
people got excited for RE3 Make in the first place was because of Mr. X in RE2 Make.
Mr. X is one of the scariest horror game enemies of all time.
Yes. People played RE2 Remake and they saw Mr. X and they were like, imagine how cool it would be if they remade RE3 and put this kind of effort into Nemesis, because it's literally the subtitle of the game, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine if they made Nemesis as scary as Mr. X was, and then when they made the game, Nemesis just kind of like shows up in cutscenes, and he's not at all scary in gameplay.
Nemesis chases you for the first hour and a half of RE3 Make, and then he turns into a dog monster, and he's relegated to cutscenes and boss fights for the rest of the game, which is different from OG RE3, where he's in his chase form, chasing you the fuck around for 9/10 of the game.
Yeah. which is how Mr. X behaves. Like, Mr. X behaves much more like Nemesis than Nemesis does in the remake series.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other thing. The other thing too is that like the remake just sort of like skips big sections of the game. Like there are whole chunks of the original RE3 that just aren't in the remake for some reason.
Yeah. A blind playthrough of RE3 Remake is about 5.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Imagine if they just completely swerve and we get an RE Code Veronica remake.
People have been asking for that.
Yeah, Code Veronica is actually Count Bob touches on something that ties into Veronica. This is just a personal feeling that after RE4, the Resident Evil games became much more dude-centric. Yeah, and Veronica was kind of like the last bastion of the old school Resident Evil games. Like after that turn happened, like after RE4, Resident Evil spent like a decade as more of an action series than a horror series, until 7, when they like kind of reset the clock on that.
Yeah, 12 years, 2005
to B movie.
Yeah.
Well, RE1 was a B movie, but
I mean, full disclosure, the only thing I actually really know about RE5 was some people were really angry that the zombies were black, despite it being set in Africa.
Well, there was more than that. But
there's more than that.
Why
but
it made them angry that that I can understand. It's not just because why are we mowing down black people? It's like, oh, this is a very, very unflattering depiction of black people as like the primary exposure that we get to people of color.
There's a whole section in the middle of the game that's full of backwards African tribals, and it's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I have like I said, I've only that is my only exposure to it.
Yeah.
And they are correct.
Yeah.
That is correct information you've been given.
Yeah. And also like it's like, oh, people are mad because you're shooting, black people. It's like, yeah, there's a reason why that's a problem though. Like that by itself is kind of enough. Because, like, white dude goes to Africa and shoots a bunch of people. Like, that's not, like, a heroic thing. That's not protagonist behavior, my dudes.
I think the way to solve that is have Sheva and the African BSAA team have them have more of an active story role and more focus.
Or just make a story about them.
Yeah, the way to fix that is to make Sheva player 1 and Chris player 2.
Yeah, actually, I'd like that.
Like have like the whole reframe the entire story as Sheva's story, which it kind of is. Like she is kind of like the emotional hook for a lot of the main plot. Like Chris has his whole thing with trying to find Wesker, but that doesn't really come up until like the back half of the story. But if you just reframe the entire story as Sheva gets this new partner, Chris Redfield, I think his name is. Yeah. Like that, now we have something to talk about. But as it is, just ugh.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, they also made Sheva less black in development because black people are scary in Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think darkening Sheva's skin would probably help as well.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about black people like this? We're a bunch of white dudes. Yeah. Okay. I stand by everything we've said, but we should probably stop this line of conversation.
Yeah. Okay. How about a bit of trivia about Nemesis then?
Okay.
Have you heard of Project Crosszone? It's the SRPG crossover between Capcom, Sega, and Namco. And there's some time travel shenanigans. At one point, Nemesis shows up and yells at Jill and Chris, "Stars!" To which they go, "Actually, we're not really with Stars anymore. We're part of the BSAA." And it's like, "Star? Star?"
That's fine. All right. Anyway, we should take a break and then go do Hildibrand.
Yeah, let's do that. I enjoyed how heated this discussion got. We had a very active stream podcast session.
Yeah.
Anyway, RE3 make bad, RE2 make, RE4 make good. I'm looking forward to RE5 make if it plays like RE4 make. And I'm looking forward to RE9, and I hope it's survival horror like 2 and 4 rather than something like RE8.
I have no optimism about RE9, but the podcast is over.
Yeah. Anyways, break time. See you guys in a few minutes.
Hello, I am back.
Welcome back.
So just to follow up something I was saying right before the break started. So yeah, I have no optimism or hope for Resident Evil 9, and there's a very specific reason for that. When it's like I'm not gonna spoil the whole ending for Resident Evil 8, but when Resident Evil 8 ended, there are basically like two big plot hooks, two big sequel hooks that they leave at the end of Resident Evil 8. One of them is Chris Redfield about to do a whole bunch of stuff with, international bioweapons and the BSAA and all that shit. And the other sequel hook is what the fuck is up with Rose? Because Rose is the baby that you're trying to rescue throughout the game, and then you find her and there's some weird stuff going on with her. So what's Rose going to do when she grows up? And of the two of them, I don't think it's a particularly hot take to say that Chris Redfield is one of the most boring video game protagonists ever, and certainly the most boring Resident Evil protagonist.
When the only thing you can really say about someone is, hey, remember that time he punched a boulder?
Yeah, remember that time he punched a boulder? Remember that clip from the movie where he gets into like a goofy ass gun fu battle with a dude on a rooftop?
He is a generic ass white muscle guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's a clip that like makes the rounds every once in a while on YouTube because of how silly it looks, of like Chris Redfield having a pistol duel with a guy on the rooftop, and they shoot each other like 1,000 times and they never hit each other. It's so funny. But anyway, so like Chris Redfield, easily the worst Resident Evil protagonist, arguably one of the worst video game protagonists. Like of any like popular thing anyway. Like there are certainly worse protagonists, but they're like not in games that people care about in the first place. Anyway, so at the end of RE8, that's one of the sequel hooks, is that like the next game could be about Chris Redfield doing more Chris Redfield things. And I say to myself after finishing RE8, well, that would be terrible, because like we did that with RE5 and it was terrible, and Chris Redfield is boring, so that would be at best kind of boring and probably terrible. The other big sequel hook is what the fuck is up with Rose, and I've said to myself, I really hope that is what Resident Evil 9 is about, because that seems like a much more interesting game. And then the Rose DLC for 8 came out, so.
Well, here's the thing.
So one remains, and I'm just like, oh, this is. We're doomed.
I heard a lot of people speculating that RE9 would be Rose's story, and I always found that baffling, because the Resident Evil series has a hard date limit where it never really goes into the future compared to the real world date the game is released.
Yeah.
Rose's DLC is a vast departure from that pattern. They always make it contemporary so that it feels like a contemporary game. Wow. And here's the thing. The ending of RE8 is a direct sequel hook to RE9, in that RE9 is going to take place like 5 hours after RE8 ends. Like immediately.
Like, here's the thing, like my thing, at least from my angle, I think a lot of the people expecting RE9 to be about Rose was copium. Because like a lot of people are like I think a lot of people would agree with me that like staring down the barrel of another Chris Redfield game just made everybody go, ugh.
I think it's possible to make Chris Redfield interesting, but it's really going to depend on who they partner him with. Personally, I would love to have Sheva back.
In a better game.
I think if it's the RE2 make, RE4 make team, I think RE9 is going to play beautifully and the story is going to be great, but
Yeah.
Honestly, my dream game is pick 2 of Claire, Jill, and Sheva and have a co-op game with them.
Yeah.
Clearly, we need Barry Burton back with his original acting.
All right. Let's go to Kagami.
I wouldn't mind it if they made a schlocky B-movie-esque Resident Evil 1 type game at some point again.
So, like, Barry, are you going to betray us? No. No, but yeah, one of the most underrated lines in that game is absolute.
I found Ott spying on the.
Hi, Ott.
Become the hunted.
Conspicuously inconspicuous man.
Yeah, but yeah, one of the most underrated lines in that game absolutely has to be, "Take this. It's a gun. It's good at killing things, especially living beings."
Lore. We'll be right back. Lore.
You still are on the BRB.
We'll be right back.
Oh, whoops.
Oh.
Oh, by the way, I got the initial sketch of the artwork I commissioned, and it's very funny because the artist got our height order exactly inverted. Minda's the tallest, Dai is a little shorter than him, and Lore's like 1.5 feet shorter than him. Like, her ears come to the top of Bryn's head.
Oh, you've got to show us this.
I asked permission from the artist to show the 2 of you to get your feedback on your characters, and I will do that after the stream, but it was amusing to see the relative heights. I didn't specify the heights of the characters, so
So they just made the man the tallest one.
I mean, considering our builds and classes and preview art reference, it's not the... Especially since I'm the squishy mage of the group.
And I'm the Dark Knight too, so like...
Yeah.
So I suppose it's not...
No, you're the Reaper.
It's not out of left field. It's not like out of pocket that they would make the Dark Knight guts.
Yeah. But,
Wait, I'm the Dark Knight. You're a Reaper.
Yeah.
Clearly, this person has never played Final Fantasy XIV, so I can't really blame them for the misunderstandings, all told. But it is funny.
That is very funny.
Yeah.
All right.
Jon Lullafell has a lean and hungry look. Hey, you're Eorzean, right? An adventurer, maybe? Good at killing and whatnot? Yeah, you got a guy for me to kill? Is his name Hildibrand? Because I don't think I'm capable of killing that guy. Me? Oh, I'm no good at it. I mean, other than the occasional rat, but... I've got a job for you if you're interested. So there's this Makote girl. This incredible, beautiful, wonderful girl. In this tavern, right? Come all the way from Eorzea, like you and me. So beautiful, this girl. So beautiful. Okay, so this guy was stalking Nashu, not Hildibrand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And has been stalking her the entire time.
Yeah.
You could, you pointed him out under a table once in Rome Reborn.
Yeah. But in this weird, strange place where people are bowing all the time and getting on the ground and tucking their legs under them, a young girl traveling by herself is in danger. Some bad people could trick her and take her and make her do, things. Anyway, get in there and keep her safe. I'll be watching.
Oh no, he validated your joke.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I never really noticed him the first time I played through the Hildibrand storyline, but replaying it with you, I was like, oh shit, he's been here since day one.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's why we made it a point to point him out, because we knew this was coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh no. Somebody get Lace.
Somebody get Lore, he got lost again.
I'm in the center of the red tracking symbol.
There's an up arrow.
There's an up arrow indicating that you are too low. You need to increase your
so
elevation.
There is. So there is. Well, I'm not climbing the tower, so we'll do that stream later.
Or there's...
Oh, there's stairs inside.
the
Okay.
Why did we just walk ahead? What did we expect? What did we expect?
Oh, Kyoto. All right. Yes, I can be of service to you, my lady.
God, we trust this man way too much.
Nashu,
Why?
don't trust him.
I mean you!
Nashu, don't trust me. I have seen this gentlemanly Eorzean you seek. Yes, and I should be glad to take you to him, if you like. You are ever so kind and helpful, Mr. Talking Cat. Ironic coming from you. Catfish, to be precise, though I care not for the Eorzean. I am Gyodo, a Namazu, and the services I provide are not free, I am sorry to say, nor are they cheap. Are you sure you can afford to pay? Oh dear, I spent my last gil on the fare to Kugame. Is there any other way I can convince you to help? How about me? Can I convince you to help? Core, if it isn't lore, don't tell me you came all this way just to help little old me.
I didn't even think about that rhyming when I was reading my own name.
You see, when Inspector Hildibrand took to the skies, I said, Nashu, you'd better not let him get away this time, and immediately began looking for ways to head as far east as I could. You can't get much further east than the Far East, right? I was worried I wouldn't be able to find him, but wouldn't you know it, Gyoza, the talking Numa here. Numa, eh? Numa, eh? Here says he knows where he is. Careful. This one knows our game. Escaping her wrath is going to take all our skills. I can hear you, Gyodo.
I have very, very large ears.
I say, there is no need for such menacing glares. None whatsoever. 1,000 pardons, my lady, but I had no idea you were traveling with such esteemed company.
There's the law, Phil.
Forget everything I said regarding the fee. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a pressing engagement. Very pressing indeed. Your payment is your body gets to remain at normal body temperature. Roast catfish coming up. Wait, you haven't told me where the inspector is yet. Huh? Little Gyoza was trying to swindle me? Oh, Nashu, you ought to know better than to trust a talking cat. Oh, God. They need to do that humor with Makote more often.
Mm-hmm.
I asked lots and lots of other people if they'd seen a gentlemanly Eorzean, but none of them were any help. Oh, Inspector Hildibrand, wherever could you be? Stuck in the ground or in the side of a building like he's not keeping an eye out for legs, or following his keen inspector sense and searching for a case. I'll be honest, stuck in the ground or in the side of a building like as not, keep an eye out for legs. Yes, he does have a habit of landing head first, doesn't he? Hopefully we won't need Lord Godbert's help to pull him out again. Yeah. Oh god, if Godbert randomly shows up in the middle of this quest line, I don't know what I'll do. This is the pot calling a kettle black expansion?
Yeah, last time we saw him, he had been launched by Julianne after calling her after saying she was aging gracefully.
That's it. If the inspector's always on the hunt for a case, then all we've got to do is find the biggest, juiciest one we can and wait for him to appear. Let's go and see what trouble we can turn up, eh? This way. I wonder if we're even going to see Hildibrand until the end of this. I guess I'll find out.
Also, like, with a recent announcement, I am very happy to think that Final Fantasy is now just 2 degrees of separation from Digimon, because
Where are
they
you going?
they both have direct collaborations with Monster Hunter now. One of the new Digimon V pets has a Rathalos Mon and a Zynoga Mon from Monster Hunter.
Nice. Cuson. Unsolved crimes? It so happens that a number of properties owned by wealthy merchants have been pillaged this past fortnight. Master Akabono's shop in the Rakaza district was the most recent, as I recall. But you may be assured that the Sekisegumi will track down the thief in due time. Okay, just walk. Wait, I just realized. This is a blue quest. We're unlocking a feature.
Yep.
Interesting.
The entire time.
Oh, it's you again. All right, you've got me, Miss Samurai. I'm not a samurai. I don't think I've touched samurai in like a year. But before you do anything rash, like arrest or torture or chop me into tiny little bits with that sword of yours, know that I never touched her. I mean, I never even had the chance. I'm sorry.
I did not.
That does not make it better. Oh, you're the Eorzean adventurer. I thought you looked familiar. We saw each other 5 minutes ago. Phew. I mean, whew. For a moment there, I thought I was done for. The Sekisegumi don't mess about. I'll cut first and ask questions later, you know? No romance in their hearts. They wouldn't understand. So it's not just crimes, but big, incredible crimes you want to know about. Incidents, the likes of which send ripples through time and space, through fate and destiny. It was 5 years ago, or maybe it was last week. I'm not so good with time lately. Anyway, there I was, walking Ulda's bustling streets, when the sea parts and my eyes meet with those of a maiden most fair, and she stole my heart. It was like 2 grains of sand in the desert looking at each other. One of those grains knowing that it was destined to spend the rest of its life with the other grain, because she had this whole sultry scribe thing that made him so...
I think he lost the metaphor.
Ever since that day, I've watched over her from afar. A silent guardian. A dark night. Some might think me mad, or call me a coward for refusing to speak with her, but they are fools. Fools, I say! True love is not the product of clumsy banter, but careful study. Years and years of observation, of obsession, until you know her better than she knows herself. Can I take my staff and swing it at him like a golf club? Perhaps when the time is right, I shall reveal myself to her. But until that blessed day, I shall aid her from the shadows, and you, my friend, will aid her in the light. I've got a spiky mace thing on the bottom of my staff. Can I hit him with that?
The joke about the sliding time scale is great.
Yeah. I did not... Okay. Hang on. Those dungeons filled up my inventory with Garbo. So I'm going to free up some space.
I mean, we need the seals. Grand company seals.
Yeah, true.
Don't throw shit away. You're gonna need. Like it wasn't just me trolling this time with opening every treasure chest. We really do need the Grand Company seals for things.
Yeah, fair enough.
And once again, you wouldn't have to throw shit away if you just cleaned out your inventory properly.
Dastardly doings and purported instances of criminal behavior. This is Kugane, my dear. We've no shortage of that here. But since you ask, the story on everyone's lips at the Bokaisen these days is that of the wealthiest among us and how they are being preyed upon by some sneak thief. Perhaps they should invest in better locks. Hey, you know what I want? I've been playing Final Fantasy IX, as I said earlier. I really want a key here, an NPC that's Freya. Ah, there you are. Learn anything interesting? A creepy little bastard who followed you to Kugane says he's been stalking you for 5 years. Huh? Oh, you're having me on. As if I wouldn't notice. Be serious now. God damn it, Nashi. I'm going to say it again. See if she has more dialogue. Nope. A skilled thief seems to be targeting wealthy merchants. A series of robberies committed by a mysterious thief? Oh, it's just the thing. Well done, Lore. Our next order of business should be to track down this Akabono and ask him about the latest incident. There she goes. Oh, that's why Ott's doing this. He's mimicking the
Yeah.
Lalafell. Okay. He
Well,
wasn't just
also,
spying on the Lalafell. He's stalking the Lalafell.
Yeah, he has been stalking the Lalafell this entire time. Oh yeah, the quest title is great.
A Hingen tail, Nashu goes east. What is that referencing? Oh, Fievel goes west.
The title
Yeah.
goes west.
I should rewatch that movie. I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
That was one of my
Yes,
favorites growing up.
That's a movie where nobody remembers that it's a sequel because it just completely overshadows the first movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, which is weird because then when they did the other sequels, they completely wrote it out of canon and just had it be a dream.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yeah, and I think part of that is due to the quality of the movie, and part of it is also just a fluke of distribution, because, like, my understanding is that, like, Final Goes West was like a direct-to-video sequel when, like, video wasn't really a thing, so it was just, like, easier to get Final Goes West on video than it was to get the original movie on video for a little while.
Yeah.
Because the first movie came out right before VHS became, like, an affordable thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, because it was like a home video thing, kids like me were able to watch it over and over again.
I certainly watched it a bunch.
I mean,
I don't actually remember much about it, though. I'm sure I would remember everything if I rewatched it, but...
yeah.
He certainly looks like a well-to-do merchant. Oh, is it the mustache? Is it... That's not a mustache, that's nose hair. That fiend! That despicable rapscallion! The nerve of him to make mock of us! My thanks to you, Master Akabono, for all your help. I swear to you on my honor that this sneak thief shall be brought to justice forthwith. And with that, I bid you good day. Oh, this guy's going to be so annoyed when he encounters Nashu and maybe Hildibrand. Ah, so it is Akabono. Let's go and ask him about the robbery. Waluigi. Ha! Forgive me, my lady. In my haste, I did not see you. Are you all right? Should I summon a healer? Oh, is she going to fall in love? Don't worry, I've taken bigger knocks to the noggin than that. Much bigger. Hey, aren't you one of them samurai? You aren't one of them samurai, are you? Shigure, at your service, my lady. You have my sincerest apologies for this incident. Much as I would like to make amends for my reckless behavior, I fear duty compels me to take my leave. A nefarious criminal is at large, and I must bring him to justice. Oh, that's all we need. Competition. Well, I'm sure Inspector Hildibrand and his faithful assistants won't lose to the likes of him. Assistant singular. That merchant must know something important for Shigure to go running off like that. Let's find out what it is. Greetings and salutations, Master Akabono. My name is Nashu, Agent of Inquiries, Extraordinary Inspector. And this is Lore, who's also got a knack for it. Can you tell us about the recent robbery? Ah, inspectors. I had heard rumors that one such as you were come from the west. You seem an honest sort, so I will oblige your request. This very morning, one of my assistants found my establishment unlocked, and when he went inside to investigate, he discovered that my most prized possessions had been stolen. To make matters worse, in their place he found this message. You have just been robbed by the Kugane wolf burglar. Wolf burglar? Surely you've heard about his recent exploits. Similar calling cards were found at the scene of the other robberies. Now I too have become a victim. Wait, is this actually a Philo Goes West reference quest, and it's not just Koji Fox being cheeky? Huh. A series of robberies committed by a thief with a calling card. Oh, there's no way Inspector Hildibrand's going to be able to resist the lure of this case.
You never see it coming.
I thought the two of you were inspectors, but it makes no difference to me who catches the criminal, and since the Seki Segumi seem to be at a loss, you will be generously rewarded for any information that leads to the recovery of my stolen property. I wish you well in your investigation. Nashu. All we've got to do now is stick with this case, and we'll be reunited with Inspector Hildibrand. I just know it. Call it my keen inspector's assistant sense. Anyway, I'm going to try and learn more about the other robberies. If you learn anything interesting, come and find me. Oh, wow, okay. Oof. Here we go. Nashu Makaraka is on the case. Look out, Mr. Wolf Burglar. Hey, here's Hildibrand. Your days of wolf burgling are because Inspector Hildibrand. Oh, is it Gilgamesh? It's Inspector Hildibrand. Hey, Inspector, stop messing about and join us. Oh, please tell me Greg's back. And that's not just the next time on fucking with us.
Did you notice that Greg was on the big bridge in Kugane?
That's a hell of a dongo. Core, it's been too long since I have had a chance to whip up a bash of Nashu's delights. You can be sure I'll be putting these little darlings to good use next time. Oh, bugger. Good thing I've got plenty more stashed away. I thought those were bombs.
Dangerous Dango.
Godbert.
Where did he come from?
He was in disguise as both of the ladies.
At the same time.
Hey, he moves at super speed. All right. I need to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Have fun, make friends.
No. Well, that was unpleasant. My stomach is unsettled, so let's say we do another section of Hildibrand and call it a day.
Sounds good.
All right.
Cool. All right, Noshu, if that's really your name. You have no one but yourself or the kami to blame for what comes if you talk to Noshu Makaraka.
I love this game's humor.
Oh god, the Hildibrand quests are so good. Well, 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 if it isn't Lore, looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I'm a Vieira, I don't have a tail. Have I got news for you? Huh. You know, the origin of the phrase bright-eyed and bushy-tailed may actually have been about Makote in this universe. Have I got news for you? So I've been asking after that wolf burglar fellow, the one that left that cheeky note claiming credit, you remember? And it seems he's not quite as sneaky as he thinks he is. Oh, he's robbed plenty of rich merchants blind, I'll grant you that. No doubting it was him either. Never fails to leave a calling card, this one. Too proud to leave people wondering for even a moment. But folks have laid eyes on him more than a few times. In fact, after talking to all the eyewitnesses, I had enough information to try and sketch a picture of the devil himself. It's Hildibrand, isn't it? Not bad for a self-trained artiste, wouldn't you say? That's great. I hope that they got somebody's kid to draw that. That would be so funny. Speaking of my favorite romance, Zidane and Garnet are doing the thing on screen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Maybe leave the art to the professional artists. No, I'll say... I'm going to say don't see how this helps us, honestly.
Okay.
No, I'll remain silent. She'll think I'm blown away. Not hearing a lot of support for the sketch.
Okay.
Right
Same.
then. Back to the drawing board. The metaphorical one, that is. Let's you and me seek out and question the rich and famous, the sort of folks the burglar's been targeting, and see if we can't learn something new. I'll head to Gogane Dori, and you can check out the tea house and the hostelry. There's one right here. That is not an openable door. Ah, there we are. Byakudan!
What?
Ah, that infamous thief. I know of him. For a mercy, he has not seen fit to trouble those of lesser means like me and my associates. Perhaps you thought me wealthy because I patronized the tea house. On the contrary, this is my sole indulgence. Were I a stronger man, I would forego it, but alas, the heart will not be denied. Poor people gotta do something for fun. Let poor people treat themselves once in a while. Oh gee, where could it be that the up arrow is taking me? I have no idea. Maybe I should go outside and climb the tower?
Yeah, and Lore, here's the big bridge.
Ha ha ha! Uraki. Hang on. Oh, it's just a balcony. Okay. Too long has it been since I shared a pipe with an Aegis. How fortunate I... You've no desire for a smoke, only talk of the wolf burglar. I see. Look, I know I'm hot, but you don't really have a chance. I have no personal experience on which to draw, so I doubt I can be of much assistance. What I know is known to all. But if you insist, he is a lone wolf without comrades, and despite their best efforts, the Sekisegumi has no leads. Some say this has emboldened the man. Each theft is more brazen than the last. He has even been witnessed practicing his trade in broad daylight, if you can believe it. That is the extent of my knowledge. Now, if you will not favor me with tales of your own, I ask that you leave me to my pipe. It is far less demanding company. Thanks for the Peloton.
I'm just teleporting.
We've got a living statue frog. I don't know if you don't have a dish in front of you for me to put Gil in, but oh well. I say, the Kugane wolf burglar. Must you sully my ears with that rapscallion's name as I attempt to take a moment to relax and take in the fresh air? It's no use. The moment is ruined. I too fell victim to the wolf's villainy, like so many others. If you had seen the vase before he took it. If there was any justice in this world, he would be paraded through the streets and boiled alive in Tenkanto. Alright, Nashu is...
Way over yonder.
Not seeing her on the map. Oh, there we go.
Lol, there was a crystal right next to you.
And a crystal right next to her, too.
Fair enough.
In fact, you've run past several crystals.
Oh, well. So, where is her stalker? Is he
Yeah,
around?
I was looking for the same thing. I don't see him anywhere this time, but I
Yeah.
was looking around while you were taking the long way.
Here you are. Dig up any interesting tidbits?
You know what would be really funny? If you climbed the Kugane Tower at this quest and he's just on the tower staring down.
Like Batman?
So, he's getting bolder by the day, is he? Well, if there's anything I've learned from following the inspector around, it's that overconfidence is liable to get you smacked upside the head by your mum and her magic frying pan. That said, we'd have a better chance of catching this wolf if we knew who he was eyeing next. This is a thing with you, isn't it? 1,000 pardons, young sir. I did not mean to trample you underfoot. Are you all right? You've been spotted.
She knows you exist.
Inashu, that's the stalker. Hey, aren't you the samurai I bumped into the other day? Shiggy something, was it? Oh, we
Again,
meet
Shiggy
again, my lady. I say, you must think me in the habit of trampling my fellow pedestrians. Let me assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. I was simply preoccupied with thoughts of my investigation. That's right, you were after the wolf burglar too. Got any leads? As a matter of fact, I do. I but recently learned of a private auction in which many foreign wares are to be featured. While such auctions are not uncommon in Kugane, it has been some time since the wolf last struck, and there are rumors that this auction may include particularly extraordinary items. Much as I would love to converse with you at great length, I really must be going. Until we meet again! Wait, Mr. Shiggy, sir. Can we come too? To the auction, if you like, but I very much doubt you will be able to afford any of the items to be sold. Oh, don't you worry about that. Loreweaver's got enough money to buy and sell you 1,000 times over. Listen, I'm a mere millionaire, Nashu. Also, no? Yes, very good. Then by all means, come with me. It would be especially funny if you just cleared out your own Gil stash. And we're down to like 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, now, Shu, I'm not in the habit of buying people. It's like one or two, so... I mean,
Lore. Lore.
I was looking at chat. I was looking at chat. I'm a streamer. I have to do that from time to time.
You walked right past.
I was locked onto the screen following Dai. Dai turned. I was following Dai, and then I looked at chat and ran right by the target. This venue has been reserved for the private auction. The guests should be arriving any moment now. I remember you. Master Akabona, was it? Shigure's like, oh, you remember his name, huh? God, that mustache. Well, if it isn't the inspectors, I did not know you would be joining us.
that mustache is available for players. It is like a pittance on the bog station.
I don't think I'll be getting that.
But,
Can you imagine
yeah.
Lore with that mustache on? Can female characters wear it?
Of course.
Yes.
Nice. I presume you are come to keep watch for the wolf, but should you see anything you like, know that we have money changers on hand to assist those who wish to spend foreign currency. I must warn you, however, that should we desire the same item, I am not wont to surrender without a fight. Oh boy, such a crowd. A grand total of 3 rich people came. Greetings and welcome to you, the prosperous and esteemed elite. This day you will be given a rare opportunity to view and purchase, if so inclined, a selection of strange and wondrous items from all across the world. Without further ado, I give you our first, a queer, misshapen fiend captured in the mountainous wilds of Yansha. His name, Hildibrand. Wait, are you actually selling a Keycairn? Aye, it is none other than the fabled Ratman, an unholy union of man and beast, a demon of legend whose flesh, when consumed, bestows life everlasting. That's a Keycairn! Fuck you! Eternal life can be yours, ladies and gentlemen. So, shall we start the bidding at 500,000 Koban? That is a Keycairn, right?
Yes.
Okay. 600. 700. 800,000 Koban. 800,000 Koban. Going once, going twice.
This is where Zidane chips in with 1 extra gil.
Yep. I'm about to reach Trino, so I'll be able to do the auction soon. Sold to Master Akabono. Let us proceed to the next item up for bidding. Alright, so Nashu, we're going to free that Keycairn, right? He's not really going to eat him, is he? The statue you are about to see was brought to Kugame from the west, the land of Eoruzia, to be precise. But let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, statue does not even begin to describe this extraordinary work of art. Oh boy. How did you balance him?
Very carefully.
I give you the Erusian Gentleman, a masterpiece, nay, a triumph of Western sculpture. Marvel at the intricate details, the features so expertly realized that some have likened it to a living, breathing man frozen in time. Well, would you look at that? That statue is the spitting image of Inspector Hildibrand. Could it have been sculpted by a fan?
Nashu, please.
Nashu. Oh. Was it a trick of the light, or did that statue just twitch? Alright, Hildibrand, what plan is this a part of? You mean to say, you think it might actually be the Inspector, somehow frozen by temporal magics? In that case, I've got just the thing to bring him back to the land of the moving. A bomb!
That was colourful.
Stay your bomb-filled hand, my lady. I beg of you, lest you slaughter these poor people and bring this marketplace to ruin. She just looks at him. I suppose you have a point, and it wouldn't be very Inspector-like to blow innocents to kingdom come.
She looks so disappointed.
How readily she resorts to violence, this woman. I shudder to think what carnage she has left in her wake.
You have no idea.
Oh ho! I knew it! That's no statue. It's the genuine article in the flesh. Probably hit his head when he fell from the sky again. Or maybe he's gone into hibernation again or something?
Why do you talk about that like it's a normal sentence?
This bizarre sculpture is in truth a man? Is such a thing even possible? Raising the price! Strange. I do not recall it wearing an expression of sheer terror before. It was rather more serene, was it not? How very perceptive of you! Verily, this is no ordinary statue. It is a heretofore unseen hybrid of sculpture and automation. Marvel at the way its features change, fluidly and effortlessly. Yes, indeed. So, shall we start the bidding for this one-of-a-kind statue at 500,000 koban? 600. 7. 800,000 koban to be paid in full here and now.
Okay,
What, you've got that on you? What, is it hiding in your mustache?
I like Ott's comment. If I had a penny for every time Hildibrand took brain damage, I'd have enough pennies to drop them on Hildibrand's head and get a new penny.
Ha! Once more, Master Akabono will not be denied. Will any challenge his claim to the Erusian gentleman? We've got to do something, Lore. If we don't, these people are going to buy the Inspector. I bid 900,000 koban. Good riddance! Oh, God. I don't know how much 900,000 koban is. Alright, I'll say good riddance and see what Nashu bids.
I guess I'll bid the koban then.
Oh, Nashu's not the only one with that idea.
Bwahaha, there's nothing in this world I cannot buy. 1 million koban.
Oh, Akabono outbids you again?
Yeah.
What is the meaning of this? By the kami, the Erusian gentleman has vanished! You have just been robbed by the Kugane wolf burglar. That thrice damned Oni. He's struck again. I saw him. The fiend with wolfish features. He took the statue and ran towards the short pier. Do you know what this means? Inspector Hildibrand has been stolen, kidnapped. We've got to get after that wolf burglar. For all we know, he might want to eat him like that poor Keek here, and we can't have that. So, Nashu, can we rescue the Keek here real quick? Hey, it's God. Hi, God.
Oh, he went into the cutscene before I could poke him. Here's the short pier, like the longest one.
Oh, simple. It's the one you take a long walk off of.
I still can't believe Inspector Hildibrand was stolen. That's got to be a first. Yes. As I said, that is what I saw. Oh, you followed me, I presume? Have a mind to pursue the wolf burglar as well? Of course we are. He's got Inspector Hildibrand, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let some two-gill thief eat him. Are you perchance referring to the Eorusian gentleman? That hideous statue? Yeah, I know, it's the hair, right? I dare say no one in their right mind would try to eat it. But nonsensical fears notwithstanding, I should be honored to work with you to catch the wolf burglar. This man here claims he saw him board a boat with the statue and head towards the ruby price. 'Twas a sight I will not soon forget. Never before have I seen a Lupon carrying a twisted mockery of a man on his back. Never again will I expect. Too bold was the fiend this day. In seeking to claim such a conspicuous prize in broad daylight, he has left a trail we can follow. Come, let us make haste to the ruby price. So that thing the Lupon stole was a statue? And people were willing to pay hundreds of thousands of koban for it? I say, some people have more money than they have good sense. The phrase is more money than sense. You don't need to add on more. It makes the saying hit less effectively.
The best way to do this is just use Netherite shard to go to the ruby price.
Behind me, there is not. Okay. Da-dum-da-dum. That there tower just keeps on going and going and going. Oh, first time. Oh my god, it really does go into the clouds.
Mm-hmm.
That's very clever. That's a very clever 3D model foreshortening to make it look like it's taller than it actually is.
It is, yeah. It's exactly right. Like it when you get to the top and look down, it's like whoa.
Surely one of the watchmen here will have seen the Wolfman and his stolen statue. Alas, I cannot say I have seen such a thing. Since the withdrawal of Garlean forces from Doma and the Ruby Sea, there has been a significant increase in domestic traffic. Accordingly, we have been instructed to wade through smaller vessels leaving our waters, absent cause. This Lupon you seek probably received no more than a cursory glance. I see. Thank you for taking the time to explain, and pray forgive me the interruption. We shall continue our search elsewhere. The question is, where else should we search? Who else has reason to keep a close watch on these waters? Okay.
Question here. Oh.
Alright, we're going to cliffhanger there, and we will pick this up next week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. This was a spirited stream. Honestly, this is one of my favorite streams we've ever done together.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I had a good time arguing with you guys. We should podcast more often. But yeah, that's where we're going to end for today. So I'll read my schedule and get off. Before I do, I would like to plug my Patreon, which you can find at patreon.com/LoreweaverStreams. The link's also in the description of the YouTube video and can be found with the !Patreon command in Twitch chat. I make my living off of Patreon. It's my sole source of income. And I make enough to pay my rent and my bills for now, but I'm also just scraping by beyond that. And I am moving across the country in June of next year. So I need to save up for the move. So if you could go... yeah, I'm going to Nebraska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you could go to my Patreon and pledge $1 a month or $1 per stream or anything in between, I'd be grateful. I'm grateful to everybody who pledges because you're the reason I have this strange, silly job that I love so much. If it weren't for you guys, I would be stuck as a telemarketer or some other equally horrible, soul-sucking job that I've hated in the past. So, thank you. I've also got 3 slots open on my Patreon for you to pick a game for me to play once or twice a month, depending on how much you pledge. Grab that before it goes away. I look forward to seeing what people pick. And like I said, I need the money. So I hope to see you on my Patreon. I'd also like to plug my YouTube channel, @Loreweaver on YouTube. The link can also be found with the !YT command in Twitch chat. I upload all my streams to YouTube. The whole Final Fantasy XIV playthrough is there. A wide variety of games are there. I'm sure you'll find something you like. There's a lot to choose from. If you're watching this on YouTube, I stream live on Twitch almost every day at 1 p.m. EST at twitch.tv/Loreweaver15. The link's also in the description of the YouTube video. Come hang out and chat while I stream. I love talking to people while I play. It's a good time. Finally, the schedule. Tomorrow, I'll be playing Star Control 2 for a patron. Monday, I will not be streaming because I have a doctor's appointment. Tuesday, I will be playing UFO 50 for a patron at noon EST instead of 1 p.m. EST. Wednesday will be Crosscode for a patron. We're finishing the game that day. Thursday, I'll be playing 1000 times Resist for a patron. Friday will be UFO 50 again at noon for that same patron. And Saturday will, of course, be our weekly Final Fantasy XIV stream. So, for now, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. And I will see you next time.
Ciao for now.
Bye.
Have fun, stay safe, and be brave enough to be kind.